So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah, I hate my fucking job. But they're giving me a lot of overtime, so I really can't do anything about it right now.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Jeff hates his job, but sometimes you gotta work shit you don't like. Because it pays the bills.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff's job at least seems a lot more interesting than mine. I mean, I'm just doing customer service. He gets fucking yelled at by doctors all day.
That's true. Okay, 75. Where are you, Melissa? There we go. Alright.
I don't fucking. Oh my god.
Ooh, wow, that's interesting. That is interesting.
What's
One of the results.
Oh, okay.
Don't look at the YouTubes. You will see the results, and
I'm not.
and it will ruin it for you.
I'm trying to watch clips of certain things that are on the Perfect 10 that I wasn't familiar with. But I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't understand what's going on. I appreciate New Japan wrestling, but sometimes it's just
Wait, New Japan
it's just
on the Perfect 10?
well, Moxley was.
Oh, I didn't fucking watch it because I don't care.
But that's the thing is I don't give a shit. I understand they're great wrestlers, but sometimes it's like watching a Ring of Honor match. It's like I'm not invested in these people. I have no idea who these people are, so why do I give a fuck?
The other thing too is the G1 Classic is so fucking convoluted on how it
Yes.
where it needs to be.
Exactly.
Ooh. That was a spanking. So we'll call that one a spanking. There we go.
And I watched a couple matches on the G1 on Access, and it wasn't bad, but I can't just watch highlights of an Ishii Moxley match because I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I mean, so I watched New Japan in Japanese, which obviously I have no fucking clue what anyone's saying.
Right.
But ooh, jeez, this was another spanking. But I watched it with English commentary. The English commentary to me sometimes is fucking worse than just watching it in Japanese. Oh,
Depends on who's doing it.
What happened here?
JR was awful, but Kevin Kelly actually isn't terrible.
Oh my god. Jeff didn't post to Reddit, did he? God
I don't know.
fucking damn it, dude. That was 28 votes for that last one, because he didn't fucking post it to Reddit. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I love the guy, but if you're gonna do something, man, do it. Alright, I'll talk to Jason when he gets in. I've been real fucking busy at work because I'm doing my training and shit like that, and it's a lot to fucking do. I can't be dicking around and doing some of this shit, so I need people to fucking help out and do some shit every once in a while.
Well, Reddit's now been blocked in my work, so.
Right.
And they do something where if you switch your phone from Wi-Fi to data, the data is so shitty. You literally have to walk outside and go to the other end of the parking lot to fucking get service.
Yeah, but there's still stuff when you get home.
No, I know. I've been trying. At least to upvote and shit like that.
I would have been doing this last night, except then Ginger's power went out, so then I had to fill in for NXT, so.
What is this, Blue Tista Day?
What?
Jason's wearing all blue, I'm wearing all blue.
Oh, I didn't see Jason, I just saw you.
I just blew myself.
I'm black.
I mean, it must be easy for you, I mean.
No Arrested Development fans? Alright.
No, I got you. I knew what you were saying. Hey, guess what didn't happen yesterday?
What's that? The women's tag team title match?
Reddit posts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We got 28 votes in our last matchup. Cause
Awesome.
Because nobody did it. I was fucking busy with shit. Fuck. You were busy.
I asked 3 different times and nobody's done it. So
No, man.
I mean, I did it until I got kicked the fuck out of everything. So
Hey, man, I got kicked out too. Not of as many things as you did, but I still got kicked out of shit.
yeah, I beat your record. I got kicked out like 4 different boards.
It was impressive.
Yeah, and it was all within like a 48-hour period too.
It was nice.
I wonder what it was that set everyone off at the same time. The fucked up part is like nothing I put has violated any of the rules.
Right.
Is it just because you're only posting a link? Is
Okay,
that
we're
what
not
like
only
constitutes a
No,
spam?
we're posting an image.
Okay. But I mean,
Because,
in each image, there's a link, right?
People
Yeah.
keep saying, "Oh, you're spamming." Well, no, we're not
Right.
spamming because one thing, we're not profiting off of it, and for the second thing, it's a different post every day, so it's not spam.
Got
No,
it.
see, the issue is that people are reporting it as spam, or people are
Right.
reporting his comment as spam just because they're dicks. But it's like,
Right.
you just like don't fucking worry about it. Like, you can just pass it by. You don't.
Right? You don't
have-
like it? Don't fucking do it.
yeah,
That's
you,
it.
You don't actually have to like comment on the thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's the issue. Is it's probably that same fucking dick who constantly uses the R word. And-
I thought about reporting him a couple times, but I was like, I'm not going to be that fucking petty.
Yeah, well, I was that petty because I.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I'll go back and do it retroactively.
He's a dick, so I fucking.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Okay. No, I don't want to rate your fucking app. All right.
Is Ginger coming or?
Potentially. I want to say.
You want me to text him? Or text in the host thread? Well, you get everything.
No, I meant like, is the reason he's not here because he's off somewhere coming?
Who knows?
I'm gonna have to work on this shit later. Smiley Kylie versus Kelly Klein. It's our first matchup, so let me get going on that. Fucker.
Right.
He seemed confused about what day it was,
Yeah.
but it should be coming.
I just texted, so we'll see if he responds. He's probably gonna respond with like 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Did someone say 3 minutes?
I heard some interesting little rumors today. I mean, nothing,
Kinky.
mind blowing, but supposedly they're starting to work towards eliminating that whole you can't show wrestling during commercials on Raw. Like little by little, they're gonna start letting that go, from what I heard.
I mean, it's very easy. Just go back to fucking doing it. You
Exactly.
don't have to transition it slowly back into it.
Well, it's because Vince doesn't want to. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, Paul Heyman loves fucking gauntlet matches, and that's why we keep getting gauntlet matches.
no, we were getting gauntlet matches before Paul Heyman even came on board. That's where Kofi won his chance to win the thing.
Yeah, but that's why we had 2 gauntlet matches this week.
Yeah.
It was because of the fact that he liked that idea. He thought it put Kofi over big, so he's trying to recapture that magic.
Well, yeah, if you do it too much, it loses something.
Oh, yeah, does it? Does it? That seems.
And then what was the other fucking rumor I heard?
Well, they're going to do. They're going to go back to more of a hard brand split once October.
Yes.
rolls around.
Yes, when it goes to Fox, they're gonna go back to a hard brand split. I heard that. Yes.
But we knew that though, because that was the whole thing. Was like, you know, right now they're
Fox wants their own talent.
Yeah, they want to be able to say this is like a SmackDown exclusive guy, and that's why they're also trying to do like the shows are going to look a little bit different. They're going to be recorded differently because they do want it to make it their own. Oh, hold on a second. I just had to stop and look at Jordan Grace's ass for a little bit longer.
See, that's what I don't get. Like, why
That's
give us
Jordan
the
Grace's
summer
awesome
shit
ass.
then?
They're trying, man. They're trying with some things, and a lot of it is, I mean, we're in a holding pattern until October 2nd.
SummerSlam and after, until October.
Well, not
absolutely.
even SummerSlam. It's once we
It's once we get to Fox.
Then we're going to start seeing big changes, or we won't, and then we'll know for sure what's going on.
True.
So.
It doesn't get any less creepier.
It's not supposed to be not creepy.
Somehow you made wrestling with dicks not creepy this week.
Really?
It wasn't creepy. It was funny, and then it was sad at some points.
So for future reference, does it have to be wrestling people in the porn, or can we just give Troy porn and ruin porn for Troy forever?
Well, the idea,
because I'm enjoying Troy's like complete meltdown and like not being able to enjoy porn.
Well, I didn't even realize that she brought up like the real life shit between Triple H and her.
I didn't realize
that was a little.
Well,
because I got one I need Troy to review. So
here's the thing.
You got a mic. You can review it at any time, homie.
Yeah, it's not funny I do it.
It's not.
Well, I guarantee you it could be.
the thing that he thinks is funny is the fact that he knows what porn I like and don't like at this point, or at least has a general idea of certain things I don't like. So he's just gonna find me fucking gagging blowjob porn and make me watch it.
Just make him do Candice Michelle's softcore video. That will drive him nuts, but it won't be gagging bitches.
Oh, hold on. Oh, Allison Carey's ass.
Oh, you were saying Allie's ass, but that's okay.
No, I mean the idea of wrestling with dicks. I don't think it specifically has to be wrestling people. I think that's
nice.
But the thing is, what are you saying nice about?
She's gonna make you watch some weird porn now.
Put something new on the table. That's all.
Well, see, that's the thing is, I even said it in the last one that like wrestling with dicks is sort of like a joke on me wrestling with my own dick, trying to watch porn. So I kind of laid the groundwork if you wanted to do something different. Now I don't.
We turn it into a challenge show where we see if we can get you to get into something.
Like Lisa Ann?
I don't know what that is. What's Lisa?
You don't know who?
I don't know.
Well, I mean the person you watched play Stephanie McMahon that you didn't appreciate.
I don't know her fucking name.
She's like the biggest porn star in the world, dude.
Why do you?
She's on like Howard Stern. She's got her.
I don't.
She's all over TMZ. She does fucking fantasy football shows.
She was in the Eminem video for.
Her titties look weird.
I forget which one.
Oh, Ginger's here.
Oh, she's the chick from Superman.
Oh, can you not see me?
No, not Superman.
Well, then I don't.
The one We Made You. Her and Jenna Jameson are in
She's
that
the one that's played Sarah Palin.
Yes, there it is.
Who's nailing Palin?
Okay. See, okay, so here's the honest truth, okay? That's the wrong picture. I don't watch a lot of like produced porn. I like amateur stuff, dude. So
verified amateurs.
A lot of what I watch is that. So like I'm not going to know a lot of them. Now there are certain people I know. Obviously I know like Danny Daniels, but that's because of Vine and of like Snapchat and Twitter and stuff like that. That I've like.
Does Vine still exist?
No, but that's where I first saw her.
Right.
And I liked her because I like chicks with bushes. So that's where I kind of saw some of that stuff. But like most other porn stars, I couldn't tell you who they are. Like,
I could fucking list so many.
No, but I mean, there's some that like transcend like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I know like Sasha Grey and I know like James. I know those like big name people.
The big names, yeah.
I don't know the chick that you guys keep talking about with that played Stephanie or whatever like that. I don't know the other weird chick that was in that porno either. But it's
Like some of the Twitter handles that the show has provided have been on point. Like Angela White, she's great.
Tiggle bitties.
Yeah, but who else? Ava Adams is another one.
Well, and again, like I said, I'm much more of a natural guy. I'm not a huge fan of fake tits, and I've made that pretty clear, and that's why I don't know as many. Oh, it's okay. That's right.
I'm all about the booty myself when it comes to
Yeah,
that.
I am too, to be honest.
I'm an ass man.
There it is. Ginger got a haircut.
I'd like to stick 'em. I'd like to prick 'em.
Nice.
And the first day, I got a very bad sunburn on the back of my neck. No, not my dick.
Dude, you've had a fucking yeast infection and a sunburn on your dick lately. You need to fucking put that thing away. Or just take it off entirely.
Are we on YouTubes?
Yes, we
Yes, we
are.
are.
Oh, we are?
Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry.
He's lying.
Jason should be sorry.
I didn't know we were live.
That's a lie.
I had no idea.
He knew you were lying.
I have already shared the link out to Facebook, but I had no idea.
That looks like a decent pickup, Kylie.
Wait, wasn't all of that discussed on the show before?
No, it was fucking before we went on YouTube, dick.
Dude, I have never joined this call before we went on YouTube since we've been on YouTube. Troy's always on YouTube by the time I get here.
No, that one time we weren't yet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure.
I would have asked before, trust me.
Oh,
But
John Venrick
it's
says
out
he
there
can.
now.
John Venrick says he can confirm it. So, boom.
Awesome.
All right. So what are we gonna make Ginger watch now?
I didn't agree to shit, and that's really fucking embarrassing. But
Neither did I. I simply thought I was smarter than I was.
Oh, but you were so adamant.
That's why I paid up my dues. You motherfucker won't even goddamn agree to anything at this point.
Well, I was right. Maria wasn't on the fucking show. So why would I make
She
a bet
was
that I
on
already know I'm
2-5
going to
Live.
lose?
She was on 2-5 Live.
She didn't-
Oh Jesus Christ! This is weirding me out.
What?
What?
I'm on YouTube and it's got the tiny little box of our rotating faces, the same exact size, pretty much that I have it on my screen. So I keep looking at it and like, wait, guys, Ginger's talking, but there's no audio.
okay, so you can see me.
Yes, I can.
I'm not John Cena.
You're not-
Did you?
By the way,
see...
I totally would not have said that if I didn't know we had already done it. It had already been said on YouTube, man. So
Well, it's whatever. I still
I
have
apologize
it.
if that
It fucking
bothered you.
sucks. You did not share the YouTubes from the rundown page, from what I see right now.
It's because I did not put it on Rundown yet. I'm trying.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm trying to get a picture of Kelly Klein's ass right now.
Oh, are you streaming it right now, Jason?
I'm streaming it.
Oh.
Mm,
You said you said you
I
said that you
shared.
shared.
He's sharing the YouTube link. I share.
Yeah.
I share the rundownwrestling.com link.
Oh.
It doesn't matter which one, honestly.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm trying to do multiple things at once here, so hopefully I don't fuck anything up. Copy.
Hey, while you do that, Jason, we had talked. We might have talked it on air, or we might have talked it off air about the tournament in NXT right now, right?
Sure.
When we recorded.
I talk about it every week
What
on
you-
the award-winning
what do you
NXT
do,
Revisited
bro?
right here on this Rundown Wrestling Network.
There's one caveat is that, and I think you'll agree with this, ACH does got talent.
Sure.
So if he wins, depending on what they do, I mean, it could work, maybe?
I just don't like. I don't know what his Jordan Miles character is.
Smiling flippy guy?
Just athletic black dude that pretends to play basketball. That's what
Yeah.
I've got on so far.
Smiles for Miles, Jordan
Yeah.
Miles.
No
I
smiles.
didn't even
for
watch
Miles is
NXT.
injured.
Who the fuck went over and all that shit? And I haven't listened to
Fucking
the podcast
Cameron
yet.
Grimes beat Bronson. I almost said Arroyo.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
Brodus, baby Brodus.
Baby Bronson. As
So now we got Cameron Grimes and Jordan Miles, and if I keep wanting to call it ACH, and I'm like looking at it like, well, at least Jordan Miles could win, and I could guess that could kind of be okay.
No.
no,
I know it should have been Angel Garza, if you
gotta-
ask me.
you gotta-
Should have been Angel Garza, Swerve Scott. I'd have been
Or,
fine with either one.
Dexter Loomis.
or Dexter.
I didn't want him to win. I thought he should have won the
Right.
first round. I didn't think he should be in
It
the
was in the
finals.
finals.
He
Now
definitely
watch,
will
it's gonna be
better.
Cameron Grimes. I'm just gonna throw my fucking phone.
It probably will be, dude. They love that
Fuck.
guy.
Why? He's just a Matt. Why? Because he's a Matt Hardy guy. That's why.
Well, no, because they have never pushed any other Matt Hardy guys, and he's not a Matt Hardy guy. He's a Hardy Boys guy. They both trained him.
Oh, whatever.
Although I do think that Matt Hardy did most of the training, and Jeff sat in the corner smoking weed. But
What?
Weed.
Weed? What?
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 Well, if any of you are actually looking at the YouTubes right now, we got Kelly Klein's ass on it. So.
Ooh, I gotta pop that up.
There
Hold
you
on. And I might pop up as well.
Oh, don't do that, you little prick.
Jeez, Ginger.
I was searching through the rundown YouTube archives the other day because I needed a sound clip for my show for Salvation coming up, right? And I jumped ahead in one of the episodes, and this is from like 4 years ago, and all I heard is Troy say to Josh, "No, you fuckwit. That's what we're talking about."
There's a reason why he quit.
Yeah, you.
It was me, yeah.
Which I'm perfectly okay with, but it was just funny. That was the first point.
Oh,
He was a fuckwit, dude. What do you expect?
that's a tight butt.
Here's the thing, like.
Speaking of butts. Sorry.
I've worked with all of you for over a year at this point. I have not done the shit that I did with any of you that I did with him, and there's a reason for that, because he was a fuckwit, and he thought he was better than he was. So I brought him back. I brought him down to fucking Earth, and then I launched his ass off the network. So
He thought he was a voice actor.
he thought
Well,
he was
technically,
hilarious.
he was still on the network when we left it.
That's true. That's true.
So
I eliminated him from our feed. Let's put it
there
that
you
way.
go.
Jesus Christ.
What's wrong?
What?
I opened Twitter.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Giant titties.
Who's
Like the nipples were on like the fucking sides. Weird.
Hey, I know something about that. Everyone has their own thing.
Do we have a 24/7 spot tonight?
No, because nothing happened. Oh no, yeah.
No,
we
that's fine.
No, we do.
Oh,
yeah,
we
got
do.
that.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Albert. I just read something on Twitter, and it's actually kind of nifty. But
Was it Drake Maverick's thing?
no.
That was fucking amazing.
Buddy Romano actually just posted something great. Maybe it's what you saw, and maybe he copied it from there. I don't know.
Did it involve Drake?
No.
Okay.
The rapper?
Fuck that guy.
Oh, now I gotta get. Hold on, I gotta get Twitter names. Kylie Ray.
Currently looking up a
At
Twitter name right now.
I am Kylie Ray.
I can't today. I don't think so, but well.
She had to have been a Rosebud at some point, right? Like they would have brought her in just for that, right?
Real Kelly Klein.
Oh,
Kylie Ray.
No, because
Uh-huh.
she. No, I don't think so.
You should have seen the Rosebuds we found the other night. Well, you'll hear it on Tuesday.
we found?
I'm sorry. Well, I found one. Well, two. You found everybody else. I mean, one of them 6'10" and 400 pounds, so that was kind of easy. But
Right.
The rundown number 409 live. It's 409, right?
yes.
Okay. Embed code. La da 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 da. Where'd it go? There it is. Edit. Paste. Rundown. Nope, nope. Didn't mean to do that. Rundown podcast. Post. And
Looks like we cleaned out the Twitter mentions again
huh?
on the rundown sheet. On the rundown sheet, we're excluding the thing.
Excluding who? People who don't show up on the show?
Okay.
Is that who you're talking about?
Well, I mean, Jeff's up there, so.
Jeff is a different situation, and you know this.
Good point.
All right. There we go. God,
To be fair, I'm sure he's thinking about recording Nitromania.
there's so much. It's amazing how much fucking leg there is on our streaming compared to what is actually on the rundown right now. Because I'm still on YouTube's right now. I'm still fucking working on Kelly Klein's ass. Like that's like
I'm pretty sure if given the opportunity, you'd still be working on Kelly Klein's ass.
I mean, that is true. Okay, so there's that. Let me join the chat here, or join the host smorgasbord. Fucking stop it, Skype, you son of a bitch.
Venrick says Bronson Arroyo is basically the most average starting pitcher I can think of in my lifetime. And that's not true. Arroyo had some really good years.
I was gonna say, has he seen Rick Porcello?
Porcello's won a Cy Young, dude.
Yeah, he's also like got a 6.0 ERA.
Pitchers have bad years. He's one of those guys that basically is like one good year, one bad year, one good year, one bad year.
Exactly.
So he was good
You know
last
who else
year.
was like that? Nobody will admit it. Josh fucking Beckett.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Admit it. Everybody pretty much accepted it.
No, but he was, well, some people...
He was the only one that didn't admit it.
He was an awesome pitcher. Yeah, 1 year on, 1 year off.
The most average starting pitcher I can think of. Kaysen Gabbard comes to mind from the Red Sox.
That's a deep...
Oh, no. Lenny DiNardo. There you go. He's on Nessa now sometimes, actually.
I didn't even know he was a starter. Wasn't he like a long reliever?
That's what he eventually became, but...
Okay. Henry Owens.
Brian Johnson, if you want to go to the current team.
Oh. Were you mad they didn't make a move? I was hoping they were going to make a move, but then they're just losing to the Rays. Who gives a fuck, right?
They're about to get swept by the Rays. What would you want to give up some young talent for? I guess the thing is like, who are you going to get that was going to be a significant upgrade?
Thor.
He's not. They're not. They wouldn't trade him. No.
Well,
here's the thing.
Who did you say?
He said
Thor.
Thor.
Noah Syndergaard.
Do you have any idea?
Yeah, but
how much
starters
you
are
have to
not.
give up
Starters are not
Yeah.
their problem. You still need guys that can get. You got nobody. You got 18 blown saves. You're 10 games back in the division with 18 blown saves.
Yeah.
What is Thor going to do about that?
Well,
dude,
they had the chance to sign Kimbrel in the offseason, but whatever.
Well, that would have pushed them over the luxury tax threshold for the second year in a row, which is big.
The other thing too, I hate they had a chance to sign him. Like the dude chose to sign with where he signed, and
he wanted to come back. They weren't willing to pay him
for cash. Like, what do you want from him?
He wanted to be top of the market. He wanted to set a record for closers, etc. So
you gotta remember too, like the Brewers barely made any moves, and David Stern said like everybody was asking for astronomical prices.
yeah.
Right.
Like the Brewers,
for mediocre talent.
for mediocre talent.
Well, the Astros got Greinke. I don't know what they gave up for him.
a
but...
shit ton.
Yeah,
did they?
they did manage to save their top two prospects, but they gave up four very good prospects, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
The Pirates closer is phenomenal, and the Dodgers wouldn't give up one top prospect for him.
Oh,
So
you know who's a really average pitcher? Homer Bailey.
yeah, that actually popped in my head.
Yeah.
I remember when he came up with all this fanfare about his
All this hype, yeah.
He's always been just a middling pitcher, and it's like, yeah, he's good at times, but you're like, yeah, he's good for like 9 wins a year or something like that.
If we're talking about the most sort of pedestrian good pitcher, I would offer Scott Kazmir. Nobody ever really talked about that dude. All he would do in Tampa Bay was be fantastic year after year.
Scott Kazmir.
No, but I was going to say, I think Scott Kazmir was a little bit better than just a good pitcher, especially in Tampa Bay.
I mean somebody who was a noticeably good pitcher.
Oh, but he
very
just didn't
good
get
pitcher,
any, like,
but
hype.
just sort of was like average dude. Like
Every year, people were like, "Is this the year that Kazmir reverts back to that one terrible year he had?" And then it never happens, and everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Scott Kazmir's pretty good." There's a reason why he was traded.
Rich Hill, that's another one.
Yeah.
Good show. Yeah.
I remember when he was the fucking reclamation like the Red Sox saved his career making him a starter.
The Red Sox also had Bartolo Colon on the team for a little bit and didn't do much here, but then went on to have nine more great seasons.
No. Bartolo Colon quit and left the team.
Well, yes.
All right.
But then he went on to have 7 or 8 more good seasons.
All right, we're ready to go.
Okay.
I always forget Ginger's pretty much out of any baseball conversation.
Yeah, we even get Adam in baseball conversations, man. You got to watch the baseball.
It's true.
All right.
Ginger?
We stopped
Okay.
We stopped talking about baseball. You can join the conversation now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You ready?
Want to talk about hockey or?
I haven't even been paying attention in the off season. But yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Jason, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. It's the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intentionally Offensive Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Troy. With me this week, Jason is here.
What's up? 2 nights in a row.
Sal is here.
What's going on, guys?
And Ginger's here.
What's up, D-bags?
All right.
It's been a rough week.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, dude, you look like you need a night off, my man. Like,
It's just, yeah, I really can't get into it, but yeah, This is my release for the week, basically.
okay.
Speaking of releases,
Well,
here's what
let's
I
lube
want.
up our hands and get Ginger ready to go.
That's right. Here's what I want everybody to do right now. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us, wherever you are, what I want you to do is I want you to take your pants off. Okay?
You say that as though I didn't already do that.
And then I want you to take off, if you are wearing it, your underwear as well. All right? I just want you to sit down wherever you are, even if you're at work or whatever like that, and just let the breeze just gently waft straight up into your nutsack or straight into your vagina. And then while you're doing that, Jason's going to tell us what you could be doing if you were watching us live on YouTube right now. Jason, take it away.
See, you always say that, and my response is always going to be, what can they be doing while they're watching us on YouTube? Jerking off. That's always the answer. I don't know why you keep phrasing it that way.
Yeah,
but in any event,
but I got him prepared this time.
there you go. That's true. But while you're sitting around bare-assed on your leather sofa, probably leaving sweat marks, I would encourage you, if you're watching us on YouTube, to slide over to the right-hand side of the screen. You'll see a little chat box. We call it the Smathers Lounge, although we might have to change it because he hasn't been around in a while. But you can pop in there. You can leave your ass sweat prints in our chat room, and we'll be happy to discuss anything you want to talk about. So put your thoughts in there, and we'll kick them back and forth and let you know what we think. But don't put your pants on.
That's right. And joining us right now on the side, John Venrick is here. John is one of our longtime
John's got ham in there.
John does say you could have been talking baseball with us. That's true. You could have been.
True.
That was our pre-show. But
Yep.
now it's time for the most important part of the rundown every week, and that is our hottest independent female talent tournament.
Oh, I thought we were doing a segment on how many subreddits I got banned from this week.
I mean, we can do that if you want to. Otherwise, I could just give the results.
Yeah, let's do that. It's probably more interesting numbers.
All right, so John and everybody else watching right now, you may want to turn away because I'm going to bring up the results on screen right now and go through them with everybody. We only have a small amount of people that watch on YouTube. Most more people listen on the podcast, so obviously they can't see this. So that is your warning. 3, 2, 1, my dick is out. All right, so the results that we had for the week are as follows. So we had a matchup of Shanna versus Trina Michaels to start off our week. Jason, who between those two is hotter?
Trina Michaels.
Sal.
Trina Michaels.
Ginger.
Trina.
All right. With a vote of 143 to 84. Y'all motherfuckers is wrong. Shanna moves on. to the
Yep.
next
Oh,
round.
what the fuck?
She'll be taking on Angel Sinclair in the second round.
Speaking of her, Anybody catch her nice wedding dress?
Yes, I
Angels.
might have.
Oh yeah. From Chaotic.
You might want to check that out, peeps.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be working with her this weekend, actually.
You'll
So
be twerking with her?
Oh.
yeah.
Twerk, twerk, twerk.
Oh yeah, you will be.
All right, so that brought us to our Friday night matchup, which was Allison Kay versus Veda Scott.
Veda.
Sal, who you got?
Veda.
Ginger.
Veta.
Jason.
Darth Veda.
All right. With a vote of 135 to 65, the force is with Veda Scott. That means
Allison
that
Kay
means
is gone.
That means she moves on. I don't.
That's why he's saying her name wrong, because
I'm
Troy's got a
upset.
Troy's got a soft spot for Allison Kay, or a hard
it's
spot.
a hard spot.
I was gonna say it's a hard spot.
Yeah. So Veda Scott takes on Taya Valkyrie in the second round. So that then took us to our matchup between Melissa Santos and Tessa Blanchard. Ginger.
Santos.
Sal.
Melissa Santos.
Jason.
I was the one that fought for her to be on the fucking thing, Melissa Santos.
With a vote of 117 to 75. Tessa Blanchard moves on.
Get the
Are you
fuck
fucking
outta
kidding me?
here.
With her block flat face? Are you serious?
I don't know, man. I don't
More
know.
notoriety.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's probably a good part of it. So Tessa will be taking on Priscilla Kelly in the second round.
Wow.
I'm upset. That was actually the pick of the women to win the whole thing.
Yeah,
Hmm?
that is a little crazy if you think about it.
And I at least expected a showdown between Melissa Santos and Priscilla Kelly. So
Right?
what the fuck?
So then that took us to our next matchup, which is Jordan Grace versus Casey Lennox. Ginger, who you got?
I'll go Casey.
Jason.
I'll go Jordan.
Sal.
I went Casey on this one.
With a vote of 147 to 29. Big Mama Pump moves on. Jordan Grace takes on Thunder Rosa in the second round. So then that took us to Monday's matchup, which was Mercedes Martinez versus Nevaeh. And Jason, who you got?
Go Mercedes.
Sal.
Nevaeh, she looks like one of those amateur porn girls.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that. Ginger.
Nevaeh.
All right, with a vote of 74 to 26, Nevaeh moves on.
Nice.
We will find out next week who she will be taking on. So that took us to our final matchup of the week. Alicia Edwards versus Angelina Love. Ginger, who you got?
Angelina.
Sal.
Oh yeah, we remember Ginger had a very strong reaction to this match.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you didn't listen to our little Wackatology episode, you should go and check that out.
There you go. Sal?
For old time's sake, I'm gonna say Angelina Love.
Jason.
Plastic don't age, so I'm gonna go Angelina.
Moving on to the second round, Angelina Love.
Ha ha.
Alright. So that will take us to our next round of matchups. Of course, you can go over right now to rundownwrestling.com and vote on our first matchup up there right now, live, ready for you. Bring your cock out, because it is Smiley Kylie Ray versus Kelly Klein. And then come back tomorrow night and you will get Nicole Matthews versus SoCal Val. Okay. I can't tell if that is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I just had to burp.
Fair enough. Then you can come again, because Saturday we got Velvet Sky versus Cheerleader Melissa.
Interesting one.
It is.
And then Sunday the lady with the heart-shaped nipples, Shotzi Blackheart, takes on Rosemary.
It's a battle of the different women.
The battle of different women.
Yes,
right.
they're very
Monday.
they're the anti-divas, if you will.
There you go. Monday we'll see Gabby Castrovinci versus Myla Grace. Then and then Tuesday is when you'll get to the last matchup of the week, which is Selena De La Renta versus Aria Black. So, with that, we yet again go from talking about perfect tens and jerking off to them to the perfect 10. We're going to start things off by reminding everybody that boys have a penis and Mike Kanellis has a vagina. That's right, because the big...
Hold on. That credit and thank you to Brian Fury for that tremendous meme on Facebook.
Fair enough. So the only thing that we had in regards to the 24/7 championship was that we had a match booked for Raw, which was Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle, dressed, by the way, in green and gold.
Fucker.
Sorry, man.
He hasn't yet. That's the storyline.
Yeah. And they were taking on R-Truth and his love muffin Carmella. The thing that annoyed me the most about this was the fact that they actually said that, like, Renee Michelle and Carmella couldn't win this belt. Like, they literally said, like, if they won, their male partner would have won the championship.
Yeah.
So that was kind of stupid.
Yep.
But
especially since several women held the title last week.
yeah, like we've set precedent for it that, like, it's an intergender fucking belt, and you could have, and that would have been a great way to transition it. Then you just do the fucking same match with different people the next time.
Oh, and by the way, it ended in the possession of someone with a vagina. So
so R-Truth winds up winning the match clean. Then, because of the fact that there was it was a mosh pit match, is what they called it, where it was just a lumberjack match essentially.
So stupid.
There was a bunch of dudes around the ring. They came climbing in. Mike Kanellis was the first person to reach R-Truth. Everyone else piled on top. Ref calls for the pin, and Mike Kanellis finally wins a championship and is 20%.
Yay.
And can I just say, I loved that spot. I loved the pig pile, and he crawls out with the belt. I thought that was
I did enjoy that.
Because when that happens in the 3 count, you're sitting there going, who the fuck's coming out of there? Who gets the title? Like,
and then he just squeezes out.
Yeah. So I was legit happy that Mike Kanellis won the title. I'm like, sweet. And then they immediately shit in my mouth and made me not happy anymore. Because Mike Kanellis goes to the back. Eventually, Maria Kanellis bangs on the door and says, if you don't let me in, I will kick you in the vagina. So Mike lets her in, and then she forces him to lay down, because, of course, they hid in the referee locker room. The referee counts, and Maria Kanellis is your first ever pregnant, well, as far as we know, first ever pregnant WWE champion. Proceeds to walk out and telling everyone, first ever pregnant champion. Who would you wanna try to pin me, Titus? You wanna be a 2-time champion? Just the most fucking heelish shit that you can fucking do. Just because every second.
Why do you dislike that? It was great.
I don't think he has a problem so much with the heat, but.
My issue was more in that moment, because, like I said, I was happy that Kanellis fucking won the title, and now I knew it wasn't gonna last for long, but just the way that, like, I felt like that was the perfect opportunity for him to turn on his wife by just being like, no, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to lay down and give you the championship.
He can't get his heat back, because if she ever, like, if he ever, like, even not even that.
This is the problem. You don't have to physically touch someone to get their heat on them. That's why it was so annoying when they said, "Oh, well, you're never going to get heat back on Stephanie because you can't touch her." If Mike Kanellis hooks up with another chick on the roster,
then he's a piece of shit because his wife is pregnant with his
got his heat back.
Yeah, but then he's an asshole.
He gets his heat back.
No, but that's the thing. he can't even yell at her because she's fucking pregnant with their second child.
Yeah, my whole thing is just that I feel like it's a no-win for him, no matter what he does. Now, the problem is that if he were to drop kick her in the middle of the ring, which he can't do because she can't take a bump legally, but if he were to drop her and pin him, the crowd would pop, and that's a bad thing. Like, you shouldn't be...
Did you see his post on Twitter?
No, I don't follow him. Sorry.
All right, so Maria's sleeping on I'm assuming their hotel bed or their home bed, I don't know. And she's sleeping on the bed with the 24/7 title, holding it while the baby's next to it. And he just took a picture of it and posted, "I'm so conflicted right now."
You know it's going to happen.
See, like, okay, so the thing that I assume is going to happen is, and now it is Thursday, we have not seen anything, but her line of "I'll be in my OBGYN appointment Thursday" felt exactly like we're going to get something tonight, which it's a little bit late, so I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything, so maybe we won't, but I felt like that was a setup where they're just like, she's losing that belt on fucking Thursday on YouTube. And I'm like, either it's going to be that, like, they do the ultrasound and the baby's laying on top of her spine, so technically she's getting pinned, and the baby wins the championship.
No,
or it was going to be
no.
that, like, somebody was dressed up as a fucking doctor or whatever like that and pins her without having her take a bump, and she loses the belt. But, like I said, I haven't seen anything, so at this point we're getting a little bit late.
So allow me to credit Mr. Buddy Romano. I'm not sure, I blanking on the exact wording of what he said, but it was something like, the important thing is not that everyone's talking about Mike Bennett having a vagina. The important thing is that everyone's talking about Mike Bennett.
Yeah. I get that.
And that's it. That's really it. This is a guy who got really no notoriety. I mean, he got bumped around and couldn't get booked on pretty much every show the company has except NXT. And now he's a focal point of every show, literally except NXT. He's on 205, he's on SmackDown, he's on Raw, and now he's being made into a centerpiece. He's one of the few people that are on every week.
Slight problem with that.
I'm sure. I'm shocked.
It's a C-level storyline, so as soon as Vince gets bored, you won't see him on TV anymore.
Oh, well, then he should probably just stop doing it, because,
No, he's going to do what he's told.
So what the
but
fuck?
You're telling me...
Why are we fucking sitting here complaining about something that hasn't fucking happened?
Because I have no faith that Vince is going to do anything with Canellis.
Well, then stop watching the fucking product, dude. If you're that fucking negative that you're going to fucking castrate people for shit that hasn't happened
I'm negative? Yet. You're one to talk.
Dude, I have been the most positive about this current run of anybody on this fucking show.
Did anybody happen to see Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle's interaction on Twitter today?
Yes, that was amazing.
So,
yes.
Drake Maverick posts I will pin him.
We're in the middle of a good fucking argument.
No, we're really not. You were done with it. It wasn't going anywhere. I'm moving on. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, keep arguing. Go
ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead.
No.
So everybody's talking about Mike Bennett. It's pretty awesome.
And Drake Maverick on today's Twitter said what? Really? You gonna make me find it?
I got told not to interrupt. I'm not interrupting.
Dude, we can just shut the shit down if
All right.
I mean, I can fucking find other things to do tonight.
All right. Well, yes, people are talking about Mike Bennett, and they haven't been before. And all right. Well, now Jason is leaving. See you, Jason.
Getting something in the laundry.
Give him a minute to cool down.
So let's move on to SmackDown. We're straight at the end because of the fact that the match went long. We had to quickly cram in a segment where Roman Reigns is supposed to do an interview, and instead gets attacked by a ghost. So he comes walking through, and a bunch of whatever random fucking bimbo is supposed to be doing his interview, yells at him to look out because apparently she has like spidey sense and is able to tell that there was a bunch of shit that was going to fall on him before he got pushed over. But a bunch of shit falls on him as we go off the air. And people, eagle-eyed viewers, have now seen that Buddy Murphy was in the vicinity, which of course has led to rampant speculation that Murphy is attacking Roman Reigns. We've got one show until SummerSlam, so if we're either going to have something else random fucking happen to Roman Reigns, or we're going to show that Buddy Murphy is and we're going to set the match up.
Wait, serious question. On whatever app you used to watch SmackDown, did it literally cut after the stuff fell on him, or did you see, like, afterwards?
I don't know, I watched on YouTube.
Okay, the EMTs ran over, and Roman is magically not under the structure anymore. He's just off to the side.
Wasn't magically they showed him crawling out from under?
Yeah, they showed him crawling out.
I didn't catch that. Honest to God, I saw the stuff falling. Maybe because they went to 3 different camera shots.
The scaffold basically fell on top of the road case, which left this small little area where he didn't actually get hit by it.
Okay. So then the EMTs run over to him. They're like, Roman, let me check you out. And he's just like, no, I'm good.
EMTs were bigger and taller.
I know.
Not a great visual.
With that, I will give them a little bit of credit because the things that the scaffolding had landed on, there was only maybe like 6 inches for that to actually land on. If for some reason something got moved, he would have been fucked.
Well,
because if you go back and watch, there's not much space that those things land on, whatever cases they land on.
I'm pretty sure it was a pre-tape, my man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they probably set it up.
Either way, even if it was pre-taped, if that happened and something got shifted, somebody moved something by accident, they would have been fucked.
Oh, okay.
This dude would have been dead.
All right.
For real.
Look, my issue with this more is that you're pulling this angle 1 week before SummerSlam. You got 1 show left now. Shouldn't you have drawn this out like the night after the last pay-per-view and made it like an actual story for the next 4 weeks?
Well, not if you're going to do the Whodunit.
Well, that's what I mean if you're going to do the Whodunit. Like, now we're just going to find out Whodunit on Tuesday.
I'm not sure if they'll do it on Tuesday.
You think this drags out into SummerSlam?
Into SummerSlam, yeah. And he calls out the person, and we find out who it is.
For the record, Meltzer is saying it's Daniel Bryan, so...
Which...
It's probably not Daniel Bryan.
Okay. That being said, Daniel Bryan isn't booked on the card, and a Daniel Bryan-Roman match would be pretty marquee. Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying Meltzer's right. I'm saying, you know... If you had to put money down, is it Daniel Bryan or Buddy Murphy that's going to get a spot with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam? You're probably going to bet on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but it's been like 4 years since they had a major match, so...
Right.
Yeah, but also, I mean, after what was said at the SmackDown, was it 2 weeks ago, where he said that Roman needs to... Oh, no, Kevin Owens needs to keep his mouth shut. So, yeah, I might go Daniel Bryan, actually, now that I refreshed my brain a little bit.
Jason brought that up earlier in the host thread, and it does make perfect sense. Buddy Murphy said, you know, just basically kiss Shane's ass, and Shane was like, I got something for you, you know. So to me, it makes it sound like Buddy Murphy was going to interfere in the Kevin Owens Shane match. Kind of back up Shane. Of course, you have Drew and Elias for that, so I don't know what else.
But that's sort of the perfect red herring to then have him do Shane's other thing, because Shane at the time was still sort of feuding with Roman. So
yeah.
So basically, we all agree that it's one of the two.
Or is it Joe? Because Joe's been having this issue with Roman the past couple weeks.
I think they want you to think it's Joe,
right,
but it's not going to be Joe.
I think Joe is who he was going to challenge. I think that was probably the message we're supposed to get. But
they were like, "Fuck that!"
Right.
Might leave
Joe as Dave Meltzer would say, plans changed.
Yeah.
Or it's Mick Foley.
Not like it can't be like Elias, right? Like that. I don't want to see that.
No.
You've
Nobody
seen
wants
that
to see
too many times, and
Yeah.
That's actually the one thing I will say about the SummerSlam card. With all these singles matches, we don't even have a tag. They're not shoehorning, 4-way matches and triple threats and ladder matches and all this shit just to get as many people on the card as they can. There's a lot of people who you would think would be on a SummerSlam card who are not going to be. And we just named a few right there. So as of now, we got nothing with Mysterio.
Yep.
As of now, we got nothing with Joe. As of now, we got nothing with Strowman. As of now, we got nothing with Lashley. I mean, you think of all the big name guys who are not being put on this card unless something changes and they add a battle royal. It is sort of a changing of direction.
It's a little bit weird too when you think of how much time they gave to Strowman and Lashley for the past few months. You kind of finished everything off last pay-per-view, but you would think Strowman or Lashley would at least be on. But I guess if you got nothing for him, then why cram him in there?
Yeah, they said Lashley might be hurt, but I mean, who knows?
But that being said, we got a lot of interesting matchups for SummerSlam that I think are very highly anticipated.
Yep, that's true. The card is very interesting to me, and it's not super predictable, which has been a problem they've had in recent pay-per-views.
I mean,
super predictable for everyone except Ginger.
But no, I think you bring up a good point. They pulled out some nice, cards for SummerSlam. It's an interesting deck. I'll say that.
Wait, an interesting what?
Deck, like a deck of cards.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, speaking of dicks, you can watch Wrestling with Dicks right now by going to runonwrestling.com.
And listen to Troy lose his will to live.
John on the side says it would be nice if Buddy Murphy was actually being used. I agree. And I don't feel like it didn't feel like something Joe would do. If they care about staying true to the character. Since when? And he said, I thought I saw something about Lashley being hurt. Yeah, we don't know any details about it or how serious it is, but yeah, he is supposedly on the injured list.
So apparently there is an injured list, which has been letting a lot of people know when people are out and stuff like that, and Lashley is listed as being out until September. But it also does say that Tommaso Ciampa is set to return next month, so take that for what you will. Alright, so when we got the news that we were doing away with automatic rematches, I think a lot of us thought, oh, that means that they are going to actually have to fast track some storylines and stuff like that. No, it just means there's going to be more steps involved in getting that rematch because we had a gauntlet match to decide who would face AJ Styles for the United States Championship, and Ricochet won. Now, I don't want to take away from the fact that Ricochet and Andrade were made to look really fucking good in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that a lot.
My issue with it obviously is the fact that it's just another rematch, and we did away with them, but then we're just adding this in here now because fucking Baron Corbin got 13 rematches, fucking Ricochet.
There's another person who's not on the card, by the way.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Where's he been? But
Who
sorry,
gives a
never mind.
shit?
No Lacey.
Surprisingly, they have stuck with they don't get another title shot, which I was shocked by. I thought for sure we were getting a fucking round 4 on all of them, but apparently
Well, I
not.
was going to say, you did 3 in a row. You can't really do it again. So.
Well, I mean,
Can't you though?
well, and the truth, here's a question. Would you rather see another Lacey-Becky match or Natalya and Becky?
I was hoping Alexa, but whatever.
Lacey. I'd rather see Lacey than Natalya.
I was also hoping for Sasha, but that doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. So
That doesn't mean she's not coming out at the end of that match, though.
People need to understand.
her feud might be more with Bayley though than Becky. But go ahead, Troy.
People need to understand that if Sasha's coming back, she's probably coming back at Rumble.
Wow.
At this point, because we have SummerSlam now. I don't see her re-debuting at SummerSlam because I feel like that they would have built this up with a match for her at SummerSlam instead of.
What about the night after SummerSlam?
What's the point?
I don't know. They've done that before though. They debuted Strowman in the Wyatt family the night after SummerSlam.
So
but that's a debut.
Yeah.
That's not a returning slot. Yes, Jason, go ahead.
So not a whole lot of people I think, know this little nugget, but when WWE books, they book, well, at least in the past, they've booked sort of the roadmap for the year of who they want the top programs to be, essentially. Mm-hmm. And they book SummerSlam to SummerSlam. Now, a lot of people assume they book WrestleMania to WrestleMania, so it's not true. It's SummerSlam to SummerSlam. So basically what that means is this is sort of their season finale of booking. So if she is going to come back, it's very likely it would be sometime either at this event or after this event. I don't see the Royal Rumble if she is coming back for one very specific reason, and that would be that would essentially equate to her agreeing to a contract freeze for an entire year while she didn't work. And if she is unhappy, she's going to get that clock started as soon as possible.
It's not back yet.
No, but if there's a purpose to it, if it's building for her post-SummerSlam program, then yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I'm going with the idea that she's gone until she comes back. I'm not going to sit there and every single women's storyline be like, well, maybe Sasha's coming back, because that's just
right.
It's just futile at this point. Like,
so part of that topic was fuck Sami Zayn. Why was that part of that right there?
Because of 13 seconds to Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
And now he's in a major program with Aleister Black on the show,
which I am looking forward to.
So I don't think this was a fuck Sami Zayn. I think this was we needed a quick elimination. He was the guy in that spot, and just so happened.
But why do that? You know what I mean?
Somebody had to.
No,
I mean, what's the alternative? You're going to stick a jobber in the gauntlet match? You need somebody with an established talent who can take a loss and have it not hurt them, and Sammy's that guy.
Just don't have him in there. Like, don't have anybody in that spot.
Well, it's not much of a gauntlet. It's only 4 people, and it's just a 4 corners match.
Then you do a 4 corners match. But why?
Heyman wanted to do the gauntlet.
I get that, but I'm not. I know you hate this word, and I'm not. I'm looking for a specific word, but this is the why bury him. I know it's not burying him, but it just makes him look like shit. You know what I mean? 13 seconds bump down.
Like shit. Daniel Bryan lost at WrestleMania in 7 seconds.
No, I get that. But basically, my point of view is you're building him up with all these fucking fuck you people promos, and then it seemed like he was going to get a good push out of it. Now you got 13 seconds pin.
The Kevin Owens turn definitely took some of the steam out of Sami Zayn because they were clearly going to be utilized in the package. So now they're sort of scrambling to find something. Mm-hmm. He lost to a former world champion. He lost in a fluke fashion. It wasn't like he went out and got dominated. I don't think this hurt him at all. I think it was they needed somebody to do it. They clearly wanted to put an emphasis on Andrade and Ricochet in this thing. Mysterio was out first, so you couldn't really do it with him. Mm-hmm. They're giving some sort of a push to Cesaro, so you didn't want to do it with him. Right. So he just happened to have the short straw that night.
Which sucks. I mean, it's my opinion. It's whatever.
But
I don't think it hurts him. I really don't.
It is all forgotten if he somehow cheats and beats Aleister Black.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
What?
No, sorry. Something else.
Oh.
And I thought Sammy's promo on SmackDown was great, actually.
I enjoyed it. I didn't like Aleister Black going back to the
still don't.
Somebody pick a fight with me, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Like, we just did this. But I am happy that Sammy responded quickly. So
one quick little point. One name that you mentioned was Cesaro. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was still disappointed that he didn't win that because he's been doing fucking phenomenal lately.
Yeah.
Cesaro is at a point in his career, though, where it's like, what are they going to do with him? Because every time he's got the U.S. Championship, it doesn't seem to matter all that much. And, like, obviously his tag team partner is dead at this point. So, like, what are you going to do with him? I mean, he's doing what he's been doing, and it's putting over the young stars and stuff like that. But like, you're not gonna have him go for the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship at this point, and so it's just like he's just kind of that Cassius Ohno,
which kind of sucks because that guy's a fucking phenomenal worker. But it was just a quick point to a name that Jason brought up. That's all.
But just allow me to point out that let's not forget Cesaro is a Paul Heyman guy.
Mm-hmm.
remember who's in charge of Raw now.
Literally.
Don't be surprised if we see more of Cesaro getting a push.
I want it.
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't shock me at all.
I mean, look at it right now. I mean, the guy's
He's on TV more than he has been in a long time.
Yeah. And he's being used as sort of that benchmark for a lot of guys, where you know he's been able to beat some guys, and other guys are getting a rub by beating him. So,
and you can tell a lot about how the company feels about a guy by how they're put over in commentary.
Right.
There are guys who are put over to sound like stars, and they're doing that right now with Cesaro. So.
Right. Yeah. Whereas Sami Zayn, they're saying that he's a joke.
Yep. To use a line that Jason always used, what would Rusev do to be in Cesaro's spot right now?
Right, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
just to get. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna make the point of like, is Rusev even still employed? Like,
still under contract.
Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead and clean up that side.
Yeah, it says. John says Joe isn't really a sneaky heel. I think he would have openly tried to take out Roman. And keep in mind all the times Joe has jumped people from behind during this WWE run.
Recently,
wasn't
Kofi.
His debut in NXT jumping someone from behind.
His debut in NXT. His debut in NXT was walking out with his music played while Kevin Owens celebrated a championship win.
Yes, his debut in the main roster was jumping Seth from behind.
Right, yes. John says, I appreciate Lacey not being around. I'd rather see anyone but Lacey.
See, look,
Zayn does nothing but lose, so he can always jump in to eat a pin. I don't know that I subscribe to that notion, but thankfully not putting over No Way Jose. Very true. And that's a great point. If he's in that gauntlet match and he eats that pin in 13 seconds to No Way Jose, then I think we got a problem. To Rey Mysterio, it's not a big deal. Smathers is in the house. Smathers says Cesaro's new entrance sucks worse than his Bond entrance. What? He has no identity outside of tag team wrestling. I like tag team. I like Cesaro's new entrance too.
I do too. So I think that Smathers is in the minority here because Cesaro's entrance is entertaining, to say the least.
And John says, "Who is Rusev?" Good point.
So I enjoyed the Bond entrance.
I mean,
I did too. Actually, I didn't mind that either. So.
Anything is better than his siren entrance. Let's just put it that way.
Oh God!
So
that's how the Bond entrance started, though.
No, but then it's. I know what he's talking about.
I'm talking about where it's just him walking out to the sirens and not doing anything. That entrance is terrible. The Bond entrance with the sirens was good because at least there was something going on with him.
Created entrance 7.
Be the people.
And his current entrance presents him as a star, where like you have to stop everything you're doing and wait for him to arrive. Yep. It's not they're not fast tracking him out there. And the thing with Sami Zayn is I mean, he went out there and he ate a pin in 13 seconds, but again, it's sort of his character too. Like he complains all the time, and this gives him something else to complain about. And he's kind of a snivelly little bitch, and this is another chance for him to just be a snivelly little bitch again, is to go out there and be like, "Oh, I wasn't ready," or something like that. We've talked about in the past that WWE has a heel problem with the fact that most of their heels are chicken shit little assholes and stuff like that. But Sammy is what Sammy is, and we've seen it before. They can instantly turn this guy could win the fucking title tomorrow, and everything would be forgotten. He's that good of a character and stuff like that. Where it doesn't matter that he lost in the gauntlet. I just put that in there because of the fact that it was yet again another one of those guys where like Sammy is kind of had a little bit of past with certain allegations coming out about him about people not rubbing the wrong way and stuff like that. So anytime I see him kind of get jobbed out quickly, it just makes me think of the fact that like sometimes they like to put him in his place. So heading over to somehow this company's still alive. Impact Wrestling was able to sign
because the WWE is paying for it.
Yes, exactly. Was able to sign Tenille Dashwood to a contract because WWE is paying her. So Tenille did nothing in ROH.
I don't know that was her fault though.
No, not saying it was his fault. I'm saying it's 100% ROH's fault. ROH did nothing with Tenille Dashwood.
Well, she had that injury to the shoulder, which sort of derailed her a lot before she even started. But Troy, you and I have lamented during some of our other previews for Ring of Honor events where we talk about how they just don't put any fucking focus behind their women's division.
No.
And you know who does put a lot of focus behind their women's division? Impact.
And
I think this is actually a great spot for her. And let's keep in mind, it's Scott D'Amore and Cyrus, who are friends of Lance Storm, who trained her. So the company's being run by people who are fans of hers. And it's a company who, if you used to work for WWE and you show up, would give you a championship on night one. So
yeah, well, and you're also looking at a division that has needed some injection of new blood, because Impact's Knockouts division, they've been going to the scrap heap recently on their signings and stuff like that. So
I disagree. I mean, who are we talking about? Tessa Blanchard?
Madison Rayne and Angelina Love are back in the company again.
No, Angelina Love's in Ring of Honor.
ROH, yeah.
Yes.
Madison Rayne is back in the company.
Madison
Rayne
is back for sure, yeah.
So one thing I will say to Troy's
point,
with
the fact that her husband works for the company is a top person in the company. But look at that. I mean, you got Rosemary, you've got Jordan Grace, you've got Kiera Hogan, you've got Taya Valkyrie. Now you're adding. You've also got some other more low-key talent. Alicia Edwards is there. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of people there, and now you're adding Tenille to this mix. This might be the best women's division in wrestling right now.
But
I disagree on that, but I would say one of the better ones.
WWE, is that what you're going to say?
NXT.
Really? Because I don't necessarily agree. I think Impact's got a better roster right now.
Yeah, they're a lot better workers than Impact.
And I love NXT. NXT is exceptionally top heavy with their women's division, but I don't think they have the same depth. Because you look, we talk about it all the time. I can tell you, Madison Rayne and Kiera Hogan and Taya Valkyrie are the top 3 female heels on Impact right now. Mm-hmm. Who are the top 3 female heels on NXT?
Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair.
And Bianca Belair, who's been eating pins. Let's then explore that. Taya Valkyrie, Bianca Belair.
Exactly. It's night and day.
But the top 2 are still better than Taya Valkyrie, I think. Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai, I think, are better than Taya Valkyrie.
And who's the top 2 baby faces in NXT?
Mia Yim.
I was going to say, right now they're positioning Mia over Candice.
Has Candice LeRae had a big match in this company since she's been there?
No, she hasn't had a takeover match.
But if your second biggest face is somebody who's never been on TV except to be Johnny Gargano's wife, basically, then I don't know how strong that division is.
Meanwhile, Tessa's gone through everybody and is actually fighting the dudes now because there's no one left for her to fight.
Right.
Kiera Hogan's great. She's been fucking great on TV. I know they just lost Allie, but
wouldn't you say that if Tessa Blanchard has run through everyone in the division is now going to the guys that's detriment to your women's division?
But now you bring in somebody like Tenille Dashwood, and I think they could have a good match.
But that's
and if you keep
if Tessa goes over her,
the thing is Tessa's gone to the point where she's over.
But
people want to see her fight Sami Callihan.
There's this credible storyline that they told to get us to Tessa fighting the men. It was not a case of, I've beat the shit out of everyone in the women's division. It started with Disco Inferno coming in there and wrestling women and saying that he was dominating all the women. She came out and made the save. That led to the first intergender match. And then Sami Callihan jumped her and she had to defend herself. That was what led to the second one.
And to be fair, her matches with Sami Callihan have been really good.
The one that headlined the last pay-per-view, and everybody who's listening to the show knows me. I'm not a fan of intergender wrestling, but their match was good. It was done in a way that it made the fight credible, and I commend both of them for that. And I'm not a fan of Sami Callihan, and I'm not a fan of intergender wrestling, but I enjoyed that match.
Yeah,
Same.
You just said 2 words that made me realize there's a reason why I don't watch Impact Wrestling, and it was Disco Inferno.
Oh, he was on there as like a guest when they were filming in Vegas for like 2 weeks. He's not a regular.
Hey, dude, we just had a Raw where Sergeant Slaughter made Sami Zayn back down. All right,
one night, dude.
That's the thing. Disco wasn't there that long.
I don't watch Impact, so I'm going by what you guys are saying. So
you want 2 words that make Impact worth watching? The Rascals. Those guys are fucking great.
Who are the Rascals?
Trey Wentz, Zach. God, I forget his last name. And Desmond Xavier.
Desmond Xavier's great.
I don't know any of those people you just said.
Well, that's fine.
Ginger, could you go ahead and tell me who those people were that he just mentioned?
The Rascals.
I don't know.
Well, dude, I mean,
I know Desmond Wolfe. I'm sorry. I do know him.
If I never watched the WWE and you told me about the New Day, I would have the same fucking reaction, dude. Like,
I'm just saying. I have no fucking clue.
Well, go check it out because I'm telling you, it's an entertaining part of the show.
By the way, for purely selfish reasons, if I can't look at Scarlett when I watch Impact, I'll be happy to look at Tennille.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. There's porn online. You can.
Oh, by the way, Jessica Havoc also part of.
Oh shit, that's right. That's right.
Okay. See, now,
and Su Yung.
Okay, so now
Su Yung.
Su Young's great, dude.
Okay.
Her fucking character work is amazing.
I think if you would go on talent, WWE has more talent. They just don't utilize it.
I was gonna say, yeah, they sign everybody.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So I would say WWE has better talent. They just don't utilize them correctly. But if you're telling me that Impact has the people that they do and are utilizing them correctly, then yeah, I could say that they have the best women's division out there if they're being utilized correctly.
They give a fuck about their women's division.
Yeah. But if you take the top women's star in NXT, which I assume is Shayna, and you put her against the top women's star in Impact, which is Tessa, it's not even fucking close.
So
really.
The top women's star in wrestling is Ronda Rousey, and she's not here.
No.
And that's why women's wrestling is suffering at the moment. That's it. I mean, I'm gonna say the unpopular thing that nobody wants, the fucking elephant in the room that nobody wants to admit to. The women's revolution was centered around Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And now we're realizing it, and her lack of presence is taking everyone else down a notch.
Right. Yeah, but there's a problem with that.
Nobody more so than Becky Lynch.
There's a huge problem with that because if Ronda doesn't feel like wrestling anymore, she doesn't have to. So if she comes back and does 1 to 2 more matches, where does that leave women's wrestling going forward in the future?
In Impact.
Ginger, do you have something to
say? Just about the women's division. When WWE was doing their Divas division, the TNA or Impact, or whatever the hell they were in that era, was dominant on the
main
female
eventing
talent.
their shows.
Amazing work.
Yep.
But yeah, that I wanted to sneak that point in, but you guys just hopped right over.
No, you're absolutely right.
You had at that time even you had Gail Kim. I'm not a fan of Gail Kim. You had Gail Kim. You had Awesome Kong. You had Tyler Wilde. You had
even Angelina Love and
the
Beautiful People. They
ODB.
ODB.
Yep.
Their cards were
Selena.
Stacked.
Selena and Rosita.
Yep. So that was just a little point I wanted to bring up. That's all.
Oh, that brings up an interesting point.
My dick.
Selena Vega. Should she be a main part of the women's division?
No.
I mean, we know the girl can go.
No.
She can go to an extent.
Okay.
She's not the worker some people have made her out to be, put it that way. Again, it's sort of like we talk about all the time with people like Natalya, people like Candice, people like Eve Torres. It's like they were good when that was what women's wrestling was, when being a good women's wrestler was the standard. We've elevated the standard now in the world of wrestling, women's wrestling.
As for Selena, who did you work in the Worlds Collide when they were running that? It was bigger check. I can't remember. That match was really good, and I thought I didn't understand after watching that match.
What do you mean Worlds Collide?
The Worlds Collide when they were doing like interpromotional matches.
UK and 205.
Oh, I was talking about Sarita, Sarah Stock. Not Sarah. Is it Sarah Stock? There's 2 Sarahs down there. I forget, but used to work in Impact as Sarita.
Sarah Stock.
Yeah, tag partner was Rosita.
Yep.
She wasn't on the Worlds Collide.
No, we were talking about Zelina Vega.
Oh, I thought you said Selena.
No.
Oh, I said,
Zelina Vega.
should Zelina
my
Vega
bad.
be a major part of the women's division in the WWE? Should
Yeah,
she be going for
and-
titles and shit?
That's when it popped in my head. I remember watching that match, and I was
Piper Niven.
Yeah, I think
no,
it
it
was-
was
No. I forget who it was, but I
Yeah.
know she did have a match on the World
it
Cup.
was a bigger female. I hate to use that, but there's no a thicker female.
Was it Rhea Ripley?
No. Like she was yeah. But anyways, the match I thought was great, and I didn't understand why they don't use Vega in the women's division. Just have her as barely even a mouthpiece, just a manager. But that's all.
Well, they don't use her as a mouthpiece now, unfortunately, because we know that's what her talent
Well,
is.
and that's what I mean. It's not even they don't even use her as a mouthpiece anymore.
No.
They just use her as a outside of the ring manager.
ballet, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they don't let her bump around.
So
Because
when,
Vince.
so when you say worlds collide,
There's like the Access special they did where it was like NXT and NXT UK and 205 all.
Yeah, and SmackDown, and they put about 4 episodes on the network
okay.
over the course
There's like
of
a tournament.
weeks.
So you weren't talking about the Jay-Z album.
No.
Just making sure. Just making sure. Okay.
No.
So you're talking about. I have to, dude.
No, that's fine.
You're talking about this most recent one.
They put about 4 episodes on the network,
Yeah, I think
And-
I didn't watch them, so I can't speak to
and
it.
one of them had Zelina Vega versus somebody from I think NXT UK.
If it's a bigger girl from NXT UK, it has to be Piper Niven. Viper.
I don't see Zelina Vega here at all, so I don't know.
She was definitely on it. She definitely fucking worked it.
Oh, it might have been a triple threat actually.
No, it was a singles. It was a one-on-one.
Okay.
I mean, again,
And if it was in fact Piper Niven, she's a world-class worker herself. So
So yeah, that was gonna lead me to my next point. Was it the person she was working that made it look good, or was it actually Vega having a good match with somebody?
Vega's not bad. I mean, like I said, she did work a lot in that Impact run of, top women like we talked about earlier. But I just, like I said, I think...
No, it was Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a,
Alright.
I easily found it on the network.
where are you finding this? It's not on you. I'm going.
I
through
went to the
matches.
network.
Okay.
I went to the network. I typed in Worlds Collide.
Okay.
And it brought
And
up
then-
the Jay-Z album.
Because I've got
And
Candice LeRae versus Zia Lee, Mia Yim and Tanaya Kanchi versus Vanessa Green or Chelsea Green and Vanessa Bourne. That's all I see. Like, there's no other.
Weird.
That's at least the right. And that's what just happened in January. That's what you're pointing.
Oh, this date was April 24th actually. Well, that's the day it was released on the network.
Because
so.
that's not Worlds Collide then.
It is
No, it
WWE
is.
when
That's when
Worlds
it aired.
Collide.
they taped it at WrestleMania Access.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Piper Niven. The reason that
Okay.
Zelina Vega isn't featured all the time is because then somebody else loses their spot. And
Well, not
who are you gonna take?
put her in the ring.
But she doesn't need to be in the ring right now. Right now, she's helping Andrade, and she's getting a spotlight by being with Andrade, and she is getting put in the ring every once in a while when she's
Right.
When she's
And I
teaming
just think she's talented enough to be the focal point of a major program.
I'm not saying a focal point, but
She could fight Bailey. I'd be perfectly fine with that.
and maybe that happens
But that's,
eventually.
I mean,
but
that's,
right now,
yeah, that's
not
a
the
SmackDown match. That's not a pay-per-view match.
Okay.
and also she is fucking tiny. She's like, I swear to God, like 5 feet under.
storyline. I mean,
Alexa Bliss, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
It's
one.
the exact same size as Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I
too.
gotta tell you, man, that one's a little hard to. Alexa Bliss is a fucking midget. All right, like you really can't do that.
A sexy midget.
I mean, yeah, it's a sexy midget, but it's just old.
There's your
Speaking of
episode
which,
title.
Hornswoggle. No, we're not doing the Hornswoggle. Oh, shit, sorry. Never mind.
All right. So we actually had somebody show up to work this past Monday
Heyo.
because one Brock Lesnar wound up fucking showing up and beating the ever-loving piss out of Seth Rollins. So Seth had a match, then directly after the match, right? He had a match, right?
He was fighting Dolph Ziggler.
He was fighting
with Dolph.
Yep.
During the match.
During the
And
match,
by the way,
Brock's...
can I give props to Dolph Ziggler for the fucking Shawn Michaels entrance this week?
Did you fight? Did you think it was Shawn?
I did.
I was like, oh, you fucking asshole.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Raw or SmackDown?
That was Raw.
It's Raw we're talking about. I don't know.
Probably.
I must have missed the entrance.
So Rollins comes out all pissed off, ready to fight, and then Michael's music hit, and Rollins looks all like, what?
How the fuck did I miss that?
Is Shawn here? And then Ziggler comes out doing Shawn's like dancing. It was fucking hilarious.
I need to go back and watch this. I totally missed that.
Can we check up on Seth Rollins? Like, he seems
an update.
No. Like, does he have ADHD?
If you want an update on Seth Rollins, you should talk to this woman, Becky Lynch, because she is Seth Rollins' girlfriend, and
she has reported
I think
his dick is still working. So
we are contractually obligated to mention that they are dating anytime one of them is on screen. So,
and I understand what Troy's saying, because every time Seth gets distracted easier than Adam.
Yeah, he's got ADHD. Like, as soon as
music.
Well, I mean, that said, the last time Brock's music played on him, he got shit kicked out of him and lost his title. So he's probably a little sensitive. A little PTSD.
No, he was distracted by Michael's music.
At this point, like, how do you not learn from
No, he's distracted. Oh, but yeah, the beatdown came because he stopped beating Dolph when Lesnar's music played.
Go get a fucking chair, dude. By the time they get down there, you'll have a weapon
Why
in your
do
hands.
you think Brock Lesnar's going to kill you? Which, by the way, I don't want to know the logistics of it, but like from a worker standpoint. But that spot where he gave him the F5 on the open back of the folding chair, that's fucked, right? Like,
yeah, no, there's no way for that to not hurt.
He did it 4 times.
Do you recall the match with the NXT match with Adam Cole and Aleister Black, where Black did the full-on shoulder mount backbreaker, where he flipped him onto the two chairs that were back to back, and he got him right in the middle of the upright part of the chair? That shit hurts. Ideally, you want to bend yourself far enough that your feet hit around the same time that your back does, but it almost never works out.
Yeah, you can see that Seth is trying to take a little bit off by having his feet at least like tap the ground and kind of propel him to the side. But yeah, he's still getting that right to the fucking gut. Now, he's got amazing abs, so he's taking the brunt of that on pure muscle, but still, yeah, you're jamming metal into your fucking gut. It's not gonna feel good. But he did it for the views. You know, people were like, "Oh my god, he's fucking coughing up blood." Now it costs blood packet, but whatever. It's still
which is super ironic, given that on a conference call, Vince McMahon just criticized AEW for all the blood and gore that they put on their show, and less than a week later, we've got a blood capsule and a guy spitting up blood on Raw.
Yeah.
Just a blood capsule. He's not walking on tacks.
No, but it's still the visual.
No, but
it's still the visual.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
still they're still using. Yeah, they're still using blood to enhance a storyline and an angle.
Because you got to
remember. Speaking of which, go ahead, Ginger.
We're in our 30s. We know that it's a blood capsule, but a kid is watching that, going like, "Oh my god, he's coughing up blood." They don't know.
Oh my god, he's coughing up blood.
Yeah. Ginger,
oh my god, what did he do to him?
Now, the bigger debate amongst people was Brock completely careless with Seth, who was giving him his body at that point.
I would like to assume no.
That's a debate you can have, and I say that only because of a couple of specific spots. The first being when he pulled the stretcher out of the ambulance, because he just chucked that shit. Like, there was no care given to make sure that thing didn't flip over while Seth had his arms like locked up underneath. If that thing falls and he rolls over, he's face first, scraping his shit all over the fucking pavement.
Like Rey Mysterio.
Right. And then I think that the stretcher, when he did the stretcher F5 spot, the stretcher was supposed to be mattress side up.
Yeah.
Not on its side, but Brock just didn't give a shit and did it anyway. So there is some debate amongst people in the know about whether that was Brock sort of just taking liberties and being careless with Seth. I don't know. Obviously, we're never going to know, but It certainly seemed like it added to the realism of the attack. So if it was how it was supposed to go, and that was how they wanted it, then fucking hats off, because they did a great job selling the angle.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, 2 points.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The first thing, to Jason's point, the stretcher being sideways, shit happens. If Brock tilted that thing upwards, it would have looked like shit. It would have been like, oh, he's just trying to be safe. Shit happens. And I'm sure if Seth wasn't comfortable, he would have been like, just throw me off the wall or something. Don't have me do that. Don't do that.
But again, we're also assuming this was all live and not pre-taped. And if it was pre-taped, then you have time to adjust and get it right. Unless, of course, Brock has not given a shit, done it, and Seth's like, I'm not fucking doing that again. Use what you fucking got.
Okay, so second point, the chair spot. So I don't know if me personally, I was getting worked fucking just beautifully. So the first or second time he F5'd him onto the open chair, Heyman looked at Brock just subtly and just shot him a look and just shook his head really quickly. I don't know if I was being worked. If you go back and watch it, it's kind of like, oh shit, no, don't do it again. I probably am getting worked really fucking well.
Heyman does a great job of selling the, oh my god, we're going to get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably getting fucking worked just maybe. Like a fucking mark. But if you go back and watch it, it's a real quick, just eye shift, quick head shake, and then they cut away. So, and they weren't focused on Paul. They were focused, like, they had the wide shot. And you just caught it real quick. But, I mean, regardless, that fucking spot, yuck.
I had a couple issues with it. First off, first mistake with Seth Rollins this week on Raw was pairing him up in a segment with the Street Profits, because it was like when Hunter tries to do segments with the young guys now, they just look old and out of touch. Seth going up to the Street Profits, what up, dog? No, not a thing. That
but happen. You know that's not Seth even though Seth is young.
The point is that it makes Seth look old and out of touch. Like I didn't think that was.
It looks forced.
Yeah, I don't think
really
that was a good bad. But they've gone like these great lengths to like tell us over and over again that Seth Rollins is the locker room leader. The entire locker room, we're led to believe, sat the fuck back and let him almost die out there, and nobody fucking came to help him, including his fucking brother, who came to check on him at the ambulance, but was apparently indisposed for the 25 fucking minutes he was getting his ass handed inside the arena.
Well, everybody knows if you fuck with Brock, your day is ruined.
Yeah.
Or you make a name for yourself and get a title shot. That was the other way. Like, you go out there and fucking jump champion. I mean, Cedric will go out there and fucking put on a mask, pretend to be a janitor, and jump Drew fucking McIntyre. How big of a leap is it to say he'll go out there to get his name against Brock Lesnar?
Because Brock will make his monkey ass famous, and not in a good way.
By the way, how is Paul Heyman's a master fucking marketer and manipulator, and how come he keeps doing these things where he says that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler, and he hasn't come up with a proclamation yet?
Oh, good point. So here's the problem. They have been kind of failing with Seth as a babyface to a point. I mean, like,
failed with Seth as a heel and as a babyface.
He still gets a pretty decent reaction, but it's been lessening every month. And I think,
look who he just had a fucking run with.
Yes, but I think this was their best idea of trying to get Seth's sympathy.
It's so funny, is it?
I think this was their best idea of trying to get Seth's sympathy. The question is, did it work?
It's probably not going to.
Then it was a waste, right? Well, they put all this fucking time and get all this heat on Seth. I mean, all this heat on Brock.
It showed that Rollins can take an ass whooping.
But that's what I mean. He should be coming out at SummerSlam or even at the end of Raw next week, and he should be over like fucking Rover. Like,
so you think that they were looking for a sympathy spot?
Yeah.
Because they in the back are even noticing, or just because it's going...
Probably in the back they're noticing, so...
Okay.
Okay, so Jason, it's time
And Ginger.
to talk about CM Punk.
And fuck CM Punk.
Bro, you alright?
Jason? Jason? Jason! Jason's dead. Welcome back, Jason.
Yeah, I missed the chair.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I thought, but I was like, oh no.
I thought your back gave out.
You can do it. Put your back into it. Talk about how CM Punk's a cunt.
So basically, CM Punk was doing an interview where he was asked if there was any truth to the rumor that he was in talks with AEW about All Out in Chicago. And this was, of course, it's been rumored basically since AEW started that he would be a part of it, but now made worse by the fact that he's going to be at StarCast the night before All Out. Punk's response was basically, I don't really have much of an interest in it. I'm doing this because it's in my hometown. I don't have to travel. And basically, they've had some conversations, but it wasn't super professional. They were texting me offers, and it's like, dude, if you want to make me an offer, sit down with me and talk to me. Don't blah, blah, blah. Don't text me. That's not professional, et cetera, et cetera.
Don't at me, bro.
Cody then came out and basically said, well, he must have been misquoted because he wouldn't say that. That's not true. And then basically the reporter said, no, trust me. He's not misquoted. I have recordings. So this may all be part of an angle if he is in fact showing up.
Right.
But if he's not, this is another great illustration of what a fucking cunt CM Punk is. Because why put these guys on blast? To what fucking end does it do CM Punk any goddamn good to criticize the way anyone else does business? This fucking asshole who walked out on a contract, refused to show up and do his goddamn job, is going to be critical of how anyone else conducts business. Fuck CM Punk. Anybody else?
Anybody else have anything to say about that?
Okay, so I wasn't aware of the interview. I just literally been filled in by Jason now. And,
Phrasing, sir.
Yeah. So, to Jason's point, if this is part of an angle, or if this is a red herring to try to steer people away from him showing up at All Out.
That's exactly what it is.
Which is fine, but if it's not, if he's just talking shit for the sake of talking shit, it's weird because he's still friends with the Bucks by their own admission. So
he talks shit about everybody who he supposedly thought he was friends with.
No, apparently the Bucks are still friends with him. So
Jericho says he's still friends too, and he doesn't fucking return his calls.
I mean, it's definitely a douche thing to do if you're just taking shots at somebody just to be a dick. So he's obviously been very jaded with the wrestling business for a few years now, and I honestly don't believe he has any intention of coming back, no matter who offers him anything.
If they'll make the product all about him, I'm sure he'll show up.
Which, I'm pretty sure Cody won't do. So,
I don't know if they want to get this fledgling company off the ground. Can you imagine the fucking number? If CM Punk shows up at the end of All Out, do you imagine the number that his first appearance after that on their weekly television show in October, the number that will draw will be significant.
Oh, yeah.
By your own admission, though, if he's a douchebag to do business with, and he's already being a douchebag, then why would Cody even bother?
Again.
Ratings.
No, I know, but
upstart wrestling company. You need to draw eyeballs, you need to draw money.
Look, I'm all for it if he does do business with All Elite, but if he doesn't, then this is all just him getting more press for himself.
So So, Troy, before I go, do you have anything? I'm sorry. You got anything? No?
It annoys me that the fans still chant CM Punk when he's a quitter. Go ahead.
Thank God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. When I was at the SmackDown taping, they were chanting, and I turned around and yelled, "Shut the fuck up" to everybody. He did a interview on some talk show, and I can't remember. I saw the video. It was fairly recent.
I think he's only done Colt Cabana and Ariel Helwani at this point, so I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know. I didn't know the guy's name, the talk show, or anything like that. It was a televised talk show.
It was probably one of those UFC post-fight things.
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay.
It was just some talk show. Like I said, I wish I fucking looked deeper into it, but it was like maybe 3 weeks ago that I saw it. But people were chanting, "Please come back." He didn't say no. He didn't say yes. So he's obviously leaving it open. My guess is he's fucking putting this rue that he's not coming back, and it was unprofessional coming from him. That's bullshit, like Jason said. But I think he's coming back, and to Jason's point, it won't be until the end of the pay-per-view, so they get the fucking ratings pop. But that's mine on it. But yeah, fuck CM Punk, because he's a piece of shit and a crybaby baby. He's a baby back bitch.
I don't get the fans longing for CM Punk. This is a guy who walked out on you.
Yep.
Who said, "Fuck you. I don't care enough about you guys to actually show up and do my job." And then has since proceeded to mock the industry that made him a millionaire several times over, and the fans who supported him. I don't get. This is like Lucy in the football, but he keeps going back and trying to kick the fucking thing. Or the fucking chick in high school who was hot but would always like tease you and then convince you she was gonna play, but you kept fucking going back. That's what the fans are doing here.
You know, the thing is too with CM bitch is that like he quit WWE and he's like, "Oh, I quit because of this reason, this reason, this reason." And it's like, well, but then you didn't go back to wrestling, and like
Right.
have continued to be completely against wrestling. It's just like, so clearly not every one of the reasons you said you quit were actually the truth. Like he claimed that he wanted to be, like given more freedom and stuff like that, and he was, it was like, well, then you go on the indies, but no, you're too much of a bitch because you won't ride in a bus or ride in a fucking car or whatever like that to get to an indie show or whatever like that. You still want to be treated like the fucking king that you think you are.
Sean Spears felt he was being creatively stifled in TNA.
Yeah.
In WWE, sorry. Cody Rhodes felt like he wasn't being utilized properly in WWE. So they left, and as soon as fucking possible, found another place to go where they would get the sort of creative freedom and attention that they thought they deserved.
Right.
CM Punk never has. Except unless you count the UFC, but...
I was going to say, he tried he was talking about that for a while. He wanted to be a UFC fighter. He wanted to be a mixed martial artist. It worked out terrible, but that's what he did after his WWE career.
But then you know what you do? You finish out your contract.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Or you retire. You turn around.
And the people who still
I'm
defend
retired.
him, the people who still defend him are so quick to throw out he got fired, he didn't quit. No. He got fired after he repeatedly refused to show up to work.
Right. For months and months. So, as it's been well documented on this podcast, I was a huge fan of CM Punk. And then after he left the wrestling business and he proceeded to shit all over the wrestling business, I'm not so much of a fan of him. And Jason had a lot to do with that, so credit to Jason. But it wasn't like Jason said anything that was a lie. It was all true. Whatever Punk did, Punk made it very, apparent when he was talking shit about wrestling or talking shit about, the fake sport. So I personally am over it. This guy proved...
My favorite thing to your point there about CM Punk is that he has consistently said, why do people get so worked up about who wins a fake fight? It's fake. It's all scripted. Who gives a fuck? Meanwhile, you go back and listen to the Colt Cabana interview. His main fucking point of contention was that they kept having him lose to certain guys.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that, and the
So
him-
clearly you fucking care who wins a fake fight, you piece of shit.
we talked about it.
Wait, have we already crowned the dick of the week? Because I got to fucking nominate.
Oh, we did forget to do that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, known piece of shit Todd Sopel dick of the week is CM Punk. We talked about it back in when this first went down with CM Punk when he first quit, with the fact that he said on Colt Cabana, like, oh, I was upset because of the way they treated me medically. Yeah, that might have been a little part of it, but you seem to be a lot more upset about the fact that you didn't main event WrestleMania.
Right.
And that was always my issue with even the Art of Wrestling, tell-all, was the fact that it's like, you talk about some of the things like, oh yeah, but you know what, it's like, yeah, but the same thing happens with professional sports guys. I mean, they run off to the sideline, look at an NFL. They run off to the sidelines, they get fucking quickly bandaged back up and go back out there. Baseball, they get cortisone shots and shit like that. Like, yeah, if you can...
Julian Edelman actively avoided the concussion protocol during the Super Bowl because he knew he had a concussion and didn't want to be forced out of the game.
It was never the medical shit with Punk.
The
medical shit was a good way to try to put some, throw some shade at the WWE. For Punk, it was all about me.
Well, and look at we said it back then too, where he's just like, I was never treated as the top guy. Motherfucker, you held the belt for over a year.
The longest modern day reign since Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
Until Brock. But
that was a reason for that, because he didn't. It wasn't enough. So yeah, fuck.
I know.
We'll give someone else a title belt longer, because of the fact that we gave you this thing, and you turned around and said it's not enough. You're still not treating me like the top guy. Like, motherfucker, fuck you, dude. All right.
But one thing I will say, because Jason said, how do people still long for this guy? There are people, and there's a very small contingency these days, that still love Hulk Hogan. And he's been...
To me, it's the hot chick you can't have. She could pull down your pants in front of the entire school at fucking prom, and she comes to you the next day and says, hey, I'm still on the fence about whether we should be together. You fucking forget all about it, and you're right back on trying to get on that. Well, it's weird. It's like almost fucking what is that? Stockholm syndrome. He's just got them held hostage. I don't know what it is. I think my favorite part of the whole thing when we talked about the medical stuff is you go back and you look at this giant fucking golf ball sized bump nobody can ever find on any of his videos, including the fucking night before he supposedly left the company at the Royal Rumble. Was no sign of it there. But then you hear these fucking fans, and they continue to try to find reasons to defend this fucking guy, and they'll say things like, well, clearly he was right because he won his lawsuit. Well, no, motherfucker. You don't understand what the lawsuit was. The ruling of the lawsuit was that there was no cause to show that Dr. Amen suffered any losses as a result of what CM Punk said. Not that anything CM Punk said was fucking true.
Right. The doctor sued because he said that he suffered losses based on what Punk said, and that's all the courts ruled, was that they couldn't find evidence that there was losses.
Yeah, I think that you're also looking at a shrinking number of people that feel that way. I think most people that chant CM Punk are trolling. I think that
probably
they don't.
It's the new boring chant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still fucking annoying.
It is annoying.
But would you agree there are still people that will follow him blindly, just like they do Hulk Hogan?
That's why I said it.
Just like they do known white woman Peter Steve Austin.
Well, yeah, it's a shrinking number, but it's still a number of people. There are still people out there that feel this fucking way.
What are the chances?
And he mentioned that Austin beat up Deborah, and then
I said there's still people that will blindly cheer Austin regardless of knowledge of that, and Ginger stands up and has an Austin 316 shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, the Austin situation is one where he's made kind of amends with that. You know?
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan too he did his apology tour and stuff like that. You know, like he said some shit that is probably said quite a lot. You know, with people that you work with and stuff like that you wouldn't know. You know, he was stupid enough to be filmed while saying it.
I was gonna say, but does anybody think he's not using that language anymore? Because I guarantee you, when he's just with his friends, he's still doing the same.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
you know what? Most of here's the worst fact about it. Most of your heroes are dicks. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a reason the expression "don't ever meet your heroes."
Yeah, because that's the God honest truth. There are people that you work side by side with, who probably go home and beat their wife, and you have no fucking clue that's going on. You know, it's the way people are in private.
Ginger, you want to stand up for that one, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Say that one more time.
But that's the fact of the matter is that because of the fact that they're.
Folks, I'm not intimating that Ginger is in any way a wife beater. It was a joke. Relax. Let's not get the Bella Army all up in arms about.
Okay, to rebuttal that, if I ever saw that in public, I would fucking stab somebody if a man laid their hand on a woman.
If
But
you
he's
ever
saying
saw
you
it
don't
in
see it in
public,
public.
you're not seeing it in public. There are people.
Right, yeah.
There are people that you interact with on a
Troy's
daily
point
basis.
was, Troy's point was people you know could be doing it, and you have no fucking
Right.
idea.
Oh,
And the
absolutely.
thing is that everyone seems to forget that, like, statistically, yeah, if you look at a group of people, if you look at 100 people that you randomly picked off the street, there's probably a percentage of them that have raped somebody. There's a percentage of them that have beat somebody. There's a percentage of them that are racist.
Whoa! Did anyone catch that a second?
You need to apply that same statistic to your professional sports teams, to the WWE. There's over 100 people in there in the WWE right now. Yeah, a good percentage of them have probably raped somebody. A good percentage of them have probably fucking beat somebody. A good percentage of them have used racist language before and stuff like that. It's just law of averages.
Well, look at the NFL. You keep seeing all the pop-ups of abuse and shit like that. It's a prime example right there.
And everyone gets up in arms of that because there's celebrities of it. But it's just like, yeah, but statistically, it's in line with how things are in the fucking real world, you know. And that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, you have a bunch of people who are hopped up on steroids and stuff like that back in the 80s. Yeah, a good number of them fucking beat people because they were on steroids and couldn't you know, and now at this point have come back and been like, yeah, I was a fucking terrible piece of shit. I'm making amends for it and stuff like that, you know. And
Or they're dead and they can't defend themselves.
Exactly. I mean, you know, we talk about the fact that, you know, Dana Warrior's trying now to remember the good things about her husband because there were good things about her husband, despite the fact that people know that he hated fucking gay people and stuff like that and was a racist. But that's not the person that she knew. You know, she knew the good side of things of that, and so that's why she's trying to remember those kind of things. So it's the same kind of situation here where it's like, yeah, Austin did some shit in the 90s that was bad, but as far as we know, that shit's not going on anymore, and he's made amends with that and things like that. So, but yeah, like I said, you currently look at it, that's the same thing where people think that, like, oh, there's not a single gay person in the NFL. Bitch, like, law of averages, there are gay people in the NFL. You know, like, there are gay people in wrestling. They're everywhere and stuff like that. It's like you're not able to sit there and be like, oh, well, every single person that's in the NBA is clearly just loving pussy. It's like, no, like, law of averages says that's not true. It's the same thing with, like, yeah, there are white
loving pussy.
Yeah. There are white people and there are black people in the NBA who are probably racist. You just don't hear about it because they keep it to them fucking selves, and they're not stupid enough to record themselves.
Well, didn't Chris Anderson get caught, like, being a pedophile or some shit too?
Yeah,
Birdman.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, law of averages. There's a good chance that somebody that you've cheered because he scored a point for your team probably raped babies. I'm just saying.
Troy was a huge Josh Hader fan, and then we found out he was a racist shortly after Troy was singing his praises. So
consequently, Troy is still a Josh Hader fan.
Not as much. You do lose some respect for it. At least I do. I do lose some respect for these guys when I hear these things come out because it's like,
oh fuck yeah,
you know. But at the same time, it's just like, everyone is so quick to forgive these people because they're good at sports or they're a good wrestler.
Well,
like
that.
Well, so
Okay.
I have an alternate take on that because people get on their local teams all the time. Like anytime,
Right.
well, I don't want this guy because he's a problem in the clubhouse. And I in Boston lived through running several athletes out of town because we disliked their political position or
Chicken and beer?
how they conduct chicken and beer. Manny
Here's a great
Ramirez,
one.
another one.
Manny.
And we're currently living through Dennis Eckersley and David Price because God
yeah.
forbid two grown-ass men just simply don't like each other without us having to tear one down over the other.
And then everybody will rip on David Price when he
Right,
leaves.
exactly. But this is
dog.
but this is my point because when they're on my team, I don't expect these guys to be fucking Boy Scouts. I don't expect them all to be great humanitarians. Can you fucking score? Can you throw strikes? Can you put, like, to me as a fan, that's my interest in this individual. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know them well enough to assume that they're a good person. So I can't get that upset if I find out they're not.
So to circle that back around, if wrestling fans get CM Punk back, do they give a shit about anything else as long as he's
They'll forgive everything.
performing?
They'll
They'll forgive everything.
A vast
Exactly.
majority will forgive everything. Be like, he's back. We won't.
Our
On the
savior
rundown.
has returned.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucked. I'll give just to kind of tie it in with Hulk Hogan, right? Like I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. I loved Hulk Hogan. I was a Hulkamaniac. And then as I got older and more stuff came out, I was like, wow, this guy really fucking sucks. But like,
To that point, so he's an asshole. We know he's a racist. There are questions about his womanizing, et cetera, et cetera. Every time that music hits, I still get the feels.
yes,
Because I'm transported back to my youth.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
And it doesn't matter to me at that point. Anything he's done, I'm wrapped up in that moment. And that's what I think is the case for a lot of people.
yeah.
Yep.
You
There
gotta
it is.
you gotta think of it too as like, I have lost a tremendous amount of respect for Pac, but I still think he's a great fucking wrestler. I could still what
Did I miss a story about him?
the fact that he quit on WWE and the fact that he had this whole thing where he wouldn't job, so they had to take him off of the thing. That makes me lose a little respect for the guy.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because like you're going to be a big deal in AEW, so it's like.
But he was showing respect. No, because he was showing respect to the company for which he's a champion. That's an old school indie sort of mindset in the business. This is protecting the integrity of the championship of a company which has put you at the top and made you the face of it.
Yeah, but
because
like I said,
promotions don't want their champion running around eating pins in other people's yards.
right? But this is also the guy that quit WWE because he was unhappy with the fact that he was in a cruiserweight division. But you know what? Like you were given a spotlight. Like you were the focal point of an entire show.
He
That was
quit.
the
But
whole
he didn't quit.
focal point.
But again, we talked about this in the past. He didn't quit because he didn't quit and then shit all over the business. He didn't quit and say it was because he wasn't fulfilled. But then never went and worked again. There's significant differences between him and Punk. I don't have a problem with a guy who feels like he's not being utilized and he feels like he'll be utilized and be happier, better, going and pursuing a better opportunity for himself. I don't have an issue with that. Company had an option on whether to release him or not. They eventually chose to come to an agreement where he could go and leave. So I don't have a problem with that because he did it for a reason. He wanted something he wasn't getting there. He went out and got it for himself. Similar to Cody, who asked for his release. Similar to a lot of guys who have asked for their release. I don't take issue with that. That's very, very different than CM Punk.
I didn't say it was the same as CM Punk. I just said that I lost a little respect for the guy because of the way he handled his business. That's all.
But okay, but there's a part of you, or at least of me, that has more respect for him because he left similar to Sean Spears, left a situation where he could have made a fuck ton of money to not take that many bumps, be nice and cushy, travel a little bit, have 4 or 5 days a week off, make his house show loops, go home to his family, and instead said, no, I'm not being creatively and artistically fulfilled in my field of choice. I'm going to go out and make less money and go out and travel the roads and do the indies and go to the shitty bingo halls and do all that stuff because that's what makes me happy about this business.
Well, and I
do respect taking that leap and betting on yourself.
Right. I just think that you need to honor your commitments you made. Where Cody went the right way about it. He wrestled up until they released him. Sean Spears
he requested his release.
Right, but he wrestled until they released him.
Not to jump the gun, but the guy
used. It wasn't that
Pac, they wanted to use him. He left. He refused to go back out on the road. That's
they had to rewrite TV for him because he refused to show up.
I'm not
that
saying
is true.
that I hate the guy. I'm just saying that I lost a little respect for him with the fact that he was just like, nope, I'm not even going to wrestle until the end of my contract or until you release me. I'm just going to turn around and just be like, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know, that's my whole thing. The fact that he went to the Indies is great, and the fact that he's doing what he loves now and stuff like that's great. But he still turned around and threw a temper tantrum, in my opinion. Whereas like Cody was like, I'm going to go to the top and say I'm going to ask for a release. I doubt that that was the first time he asked for his release. He kept working until they finally granted his release. Sean Spears kept working until they didn't book him, but he kept working until they granted his release. You know, fucking Dean Ambrose turned around and worked until the last day his contract was.
Okay, right. But when we talk about honoring, he wasn't honoring his commitments. Let's also remember that one of the major sticking points that got us to where we got was the fact that they put the guy on WrestleMania on the DVD and then refused to pay him the royalties because they told him he was in the kickoff match.
Okay. I understand his frustrations. I've always understood his frustrations.
My point is to say they weren't necessarily on the up and up with the way they dealt with him either.
Well, yeah, no.
So
it's one of those situations where
you got to stick up for yourself, or no one else is going to.
Yeah, we often get it in these situations where nobody looks good, you know. But
yeah,
I have the same kind of reaction. Like right now, obviously, I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan. I don't like the fact that Melvin Gordon is turning around and fucking asking for a trade because of the fact that he's not getting a fucking contract extension. Well, you signed that contract, dude. You know.
The NFL, yeah,
you're getting paid. You're a top.
That's a whole player association.
The NFL is a different beast entirely because here's the thing: it's a league in which the owners are not forced to honor the contracts they sign.
Yeah, no,
right. Nothing's guaranteed. They can cut you after like a year, even if you sign a 4-year deal.
Right. So, but if a player overplays his contract and it overplays the value of his contract, he's an asshole for asking for more money. But if he underplays it, they can just stop paying him, and that's okay. So that's a league where the players have very little power. I have no problem with a player flexing when he has an opportunity to do so in that league.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on here so that Jason's not up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And let's talk about the fact that we have a match for SummerSlam, Charlotte versus Trish Stratus. That was made official this past Sunday after Charlotte requested the match and Trish accepted. Now I know Lance Storm is not happy about it, but let's hear from the guys here on are they excited for Charlotte versus Trish Stratus?
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Okay. Ginger.
Look, a major.
Ginger doesn't get a lot of time to talk, so I'm giving him the opportunity. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Ginger.
Oh,
see, he wasn't even paying attention.
No, I was. No.
Charlotte and Trish make a dick hard.
In a wrestling
yes.
Okay.
In a wrestling sense.
I just hope they go the entire time. That's all I want.
Audio podcast. Audio.
I hope they scissor the whole time.
There you go. Thank you.
But no, I think everybody has very high hopes for this match. I hope people aren't super high hopes on it. When was the last time you saw Trish in a match? 10 years ago?
Evolution, dude.
I was going to say she was at Evolution.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Okay. How'd she look? Sorry, I didn't watch it.
All right.
How did she look?
A little bit of ring rust. Nothing severe. Nothing as bad as Lita trying to do a moonsault.
Okay. So, I mean, yes, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope it doesn't go south. Like it's not a bad match because
I hope it goes south. as in pussy eating.
Jesus.
That's a given, dude.
All right. Look,
Go ahead.
this is a big marquee match.
Yeah.
A very, very big deal. And to be honest, the women's match at this year's SummerSlam. Like,
Look, this is the women's equivalent of Rock Hogan.
yeah, pretty much.
That's what this is.
And this
The match is, and similar to Rock Hogan, the match may not be an artistic classic, but the atmosphere and the energy and the sort of import and the feeling around this match will make it a classic.
especially in Toronto.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great when that match is over, and that place is gonna be fucking pissed.
Why is the place going to be pissed?
Charlotte's gonna win.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine if Charlotte wins. Okay, mind
People
you,
thought the place would be pissed if fucking Rock won too, and then they had Hogan give him the seal of approval or whatever, and
Yes, but
or
Neither
let's
of-
say for the sake of argument, they're pissed because Charlotte wins, and then Sasha makes her return to save Trish.
Sure.
You know, there are ways they can turn that. I'm not worried. about
yeah, but
No,
with
I'm
if
looking
they
forward-
just go with a straight outcome of Charlotte going over,
that. Go with a
Rock,
straight outcome. Your wish will be not granted. So
Rock nor Hogan were the hometown heroes.
no, but
at
Hogan
Mania.
was the sentimental hero.
Yes,
everybody in
but they
Toronto was
weren't
a Hogan
in his hometown.
Well,
She's
no,
from Toronto, correct?
Town at this point.
they were in the site of his historic match at WrestleMania 6 with the Ultimate Warrior.
Still not his hometown.
Okay.
No.
Granted, look, obviously Toronto's going to be
Is there anyone
behind.
that doesn't realize
Because
they're
you
gonna
know,
walk down at
you
this
know
point?
exactly what sign you're gonna see if Trish loses. We Riot.
Really? You think they're going to take it that hard?
Oh fuck
I mean,
yeah,
this
dude.
isn't
Have you
Bret
met
and Calgary's.
Canadians, dude? Do you remember Bret Hart?
I was going to say, this isn't not Bret and
Don't
Calgary.
you know, eh?
So, at SummerSlam, we're definitely getting a screw job, right? Like they're in Canada.
Sure.
This is
Why
a
not?
major event. This is the thing that's going to happen. Kevin Owens probably. I don't know.
Listen, this is a marquee match, and guess what? It doesn't involve Ronda Rousey. So it's possible! It is possible.
All right.
But is
so-
this going to have a sustained push, or is this a one-night thing? Because that's the
One
difference.
thing, in my
Right.
opinion.
Well, it
But,
changed an entire industry in a very short period of time. So
dude,
all I'm
Ronda's
saying is,
great.
no
Obviously,
Ronda
she had a
this
lot of
year,
face
no
time.
evolution. Do the math.
No, look, Ronda's great. Obviously, she had a lot of fame coming into WWE. That's my problem. It's a similar situation to where Rock is in his career right now. He's got a lot of money. He doesn't have to fucking wrestle, and neither does Ronda. She can come and go as she please once every 2 years if she feels like
You
it.
do understand, though, that you kind of make Jason's point for him every time, because every time we've talked about a women's storyline, Ronda's been brought up in it tonight. Like,
I'm
we
just
keep
putting over
bringing
Charlotte.
Ronda up, and she's not fucking on to TV right now.
I'm just saying that this match is a big deal. Charlotte and Trish is a big fucking deal, and it's bigger than Becky and Natalia, and it's bigger than Becky and
it's-
Ember.
Bigger than Becky and Natalia, yes, but it's also it's the hot young star versus the last generation's top female, and oftentimes these matches have been used as a torch passing, which I appreciate. I mean, you guys have already talked about it. Rock vs. Hogan was the torch passing. Rock vs. Cena was the torch passing. And then eventually Cena, I guess, would do his own at some point. in
Angle
time.
versus Cena.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously John Cena will eventually do his own kind of like final match where
I think he sort of already did the torch passing with AJ.
Yeah, I was just gonna say with AJ Styles,
And a little bit with Owens, too, putting him over in his first
Owen-
match.
but Owens over.
Owens, I would say, would be the bigger because obviously
Yeah.
AJ Styles is 40, so you can't.
He
really
just
pass
signed
the
his
torch
last
to-
contract.
Yeah, but he put a lot of guys, just made a lot of guys stars with that U.S. Open Challenge.
Yeah, well,
Cena,
yeah.
again, and I say this all the time when the Cena debate comes up, name me another guy who got to that top level that put over more talent than John Cena did.
And
I'll wait.
And every
What do you
time,
mean, man? He was burying people.
And every time you say that, I remind you, like, in the past 5 years, yes. Before that. Anyways, Matt Riley has joined in on the side. Says, "What's up, guys?"
But-
And, hey, Sal.
What's up, Matt?
And it says, "Trish versus Charlotte, an instant classic already." And Venrick says that Moonsault was a half inch away from being catastrophic. That's true. Go ahead, Ginger. You
So-
have something to say.
I was
Oh,
actually...
Trish versus Charlotte, an instant classic already. That's what I'm talking about when you have your hopes too high.
No, but like Jason said, it's an atmosphere thing. It's a generation thing. It doesn't matter if those two go out and put on a 5-star match. What matters is the crowd will be super into it, and they could just fucking chop each other the whole time. People are still gonna cheer.
Can you feel me putting distance on you trying to rebuttal me on this John Cena thing? Because I don't want to get into that right now.
No. Different topic, different time.
Yeah, I know you're trying. You're like, but Cena, I love him. Put a stick in my mouth. Put it in there. So Jason, Randy Orton, video of the year. Explain.
Did you watch the fucking video on SmackDown?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's why I'm telling you to explain.
It was fucking fantastic.
Neither did Ginger. He's done.
It was to build the match with Kofi, and they tied it all back. They used the stupid thing to the point where Randy Orton went, they played stupid, and Orton goes, Kofi is stupid if he thinks I'm going to sit there and let him walk away with that championship. This was one of the best video packages I have seen this company put together to build hype for a match. And Orton didn't have to scream. He didn't have to beat anybody. He just went there, used their history, and told a fucking story. It was 5-star video package. It was fantastic, and I am even more hyped for this match now.
It was everything Jason said it was, and it was like he said, he didn't have to scream. It was so fucking beautiful. And they used their own history. God forbid they ever fucking do that sometimes. See how fucking over it can get? But Orton just sitting there, basically being very cocky and arrogant, but telling the truth. Like, Kofi wasn't ready 9 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. And you know what? He's not ready now. And when I see him at SummerSlam, I'm taking the title. The only reason he's been champ this long is because I didn't feel like taking it yet.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And I expect that next week we're going to get a similar one for Kofi from his perspective on that same incident. And I look very much forward to that.
Ginger, did you see the promo?
Bits and pieces. Yeah, it was a good promo. It's. I said it before. I like the fact that they are bringing up the history between these two. This is something very rare that they do.
Good booking.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I hope they put Kofi over. But I have a feeling Orton is going to get that title.
Really? You think Kofi's doing the job to Orton at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I don't think Kofi Mania is over yet. I think this is just one more demon that Kofi exercises.
It's such a toss-up, in my opinion.
That's good, though. You don't want to go in there. You don't want to go in there with being like, "Oh, Kofi's gonna win." Obviously,
back to our original point that was brought up earlier. This is a card that does not have a lot of high predictability in the matches. So yeah,
which means Ginger has a chance to do good on predictions this year.
Let's not get carried away.
Whoa.
But just saying, there's a chance.
I got 12 right out of 3 pay-per-views.
Got 12 right. There just happened to be 3 pay-per-views.
So this next topic is another one that I don't really know what to say about. So WWE Network rolled out its redesign this week, slowly rolling out to the different platforms that are available out there. Now, my only interaction so far with the WWE Network has been through the Android app. I did not have any issue with NXT, but I know that there have been some reports of issues on other platforms. So, Ginger has not had any issues with the WWE Network, correct?
Correct.
So, Sal and Jason, you both did, correct?
Yes.
Mine was very minor when I first used the app when it was redesigned. It didn't save like my history of what I had been watching the night before, and searching definitely was different. But Past couple days, I think I'm starting to get used to it. It's all right. Nah, I'm not really. It's very Netflixy,
Okay.
you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So now that the moment we've been waiting for this entire week, Jason, what issues did you happen to have with the WWE Network this week?
So, the whole thing started when I went to watch NXT, because I've always watched NXT through the app on my television. And the app on my television says this app is no longer supported.
Whoops.
To which I say to myself, okay, self, they did the redesign, so they probably have a new app I have to go download. So cool. So I go to the App Store on my TV. Nothing's there. That's fucking weird. So I go online. Only to find out that they have discontinued support for any Samsung TVs prior to 2017. That means anything that's more than 2 fucking years old is no longer supported. That's a pretty tight fucking window you're holding in there, which means I can no longer watch it on my TV, which was my preferred method for watching WWE Network. But then I said to myself, I got that nice little Fire TV hooked up to my TV, so I can use that. All right, cool. So I go to my Fire TV, WWE, and I have to download the app again because, they've updated it. So I wait while it downloads. And I start watching. Oh, cool. All right, here we go. Time to sit down and watch NXT. So I launch the WWE app on my Amazon Fire Stick. And I get to home. Problem is, on home, nowhere on home is what's playing live. So nowhere does it say, like it used to on my TV, this is what's live on the network. Click here to watch it. So I'm scrambling to try to find where the fucking show is on the network. And I said, well, fuck, I'll go down to the NXT section. And sure enough, there is this week's episode of NXT. Cool. Hover over it. Hit play, nothing happens. Well, that's fucking weird. Let me see. So I scroll over and I go to last week's episode. Plays no problem. They've listed it in the NXT section with an unplayable link. Well, that's fucking great. All right, well, let me go find where it is on the main page. So I go back to the main section. Except there's still no listing for what's playing live. 10 minutes of going through every section on the thing, I find at the very bottom, schedule. Schedule is what used to be the main page. So the live show is on schedule. Okay, cool. Found it. Launched the main show. And I'm watching this week's opening contest between Tyler Breeze and Jackson Riker. And there's this great spot where Riker picks up Breeze and just fucking slams him down. And it looks brutal. And then about 10 seconds later, it sounded brutal. Because the audio and video were about 10 seconds off on the sync. So I'm like, wow, maybe the fucking buffering screwed it up. So close out of it. And try to fast forward to another part to see at which point it fucking freezes on me. And I have to go and restart the Fire. Okay. Start it. Scroll all the way down through schedule. Find the fucking show. Relaunch it. Still 10 seconds out of sync. Motherfucker. So, fuck. I got a PlayStation. Alright, cool. I'll watch it on my PlayStation 4. Launched PlayStation 4. In the meantime, I've since launched it on my iPad and saw that it's working, but I use my iPad to take notes during the show, so I can't watch it and take notes on it at the same time. So I have to find another medium by which to watch NXT. So I'm watching on my PlayStation. I find my PlayStation. This app has been updated. You have to uninstall and reinstall. Okay, fucking cool. Let's do that. So I fucking do that. And I get to the home screen. And the home screen in big bold letters, NXT, playing now playing. All right, cool. This is already better. So I launch it. And I start watching. And guess what? The audio and video are in sync. Like Justin Timberlake. So it is not my fucking internet that was the problem. It was clearly the app on the Amazon stick. Okay, cool.
So before you go on, so John Vederick says that it is way better on the PS4, so he agrees with you. And Matt Riley says that he had lagging issues on the PS4. So But Venrick says he had no issues and design is considerably more intuitive, though maybe he just got lucky on the former. So go ahead, continue.
So then I'm in my PS4. I've updated the app. I have found NXT. I hit play. The audio and the video are syncing. It's fucking Miller time. Except I've already watched the Tyler Breeze and Jackson Riker. So let me go and fast forward to the next match so I can get my notes going because Ginger's going to be fucking waiting for me to come downstairs and do the show.
Nope.
Or Troy in this case. So I fast forward, at which point it fucking freezes. I cannot fast forward. I cannot rewind. So I go out of the WWE Network app, launch another app, then I try to go back to WWE Network, where it's still frozen. I still can't fast forward. I still can't rewind. The only thing I can do is to exit my PS4, go into settings, system, and reboot the whole fucking thing. At which point, once it rebooted, I was finally able to sit down and watch NXT. So in order to watch an hour of NXT, I had to deal with an hour and a half of technical issues thanks to the redesign of the WWE Network, a redesign geared to make it a more simplistic experience. Fucking thanks.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Their more simplistic experience is very similar to Vince McMahon's booking. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you a quick question? Wait, hold on. Have you watched the network since on
Since
PS4?
last night? No.
No? Okay. I just didn't know if it was much easier now going forward.
Since last night? What do you think they've changed since last night?
I just think that the initial, the app downloading and everything like that was probably what caused all the freezing, and hopefully it's better now since you rebooted everything.
I used to have a ton of issues with the PS3, so we'll see how this works out. This is the first foray with the PS4, really, so.
Got it.
It's going to be fantastic when SummerSlam comes and people only use the network for pay-per-views. And when you got the email, it said, if you plan on watching SummerSlam, please sign into the network prior to SummerSlam so you have no issues. I cannot wait to see the fucking outrage. It's going to be hilarious.
It's going to take you 2 hours just to try to get it to work.
Yeah, I wonder what that'll fucking be like. I'm looking forward to the outrage when they say the big 4 or 5 pay-per-views are now in the upper price tier, and to get those you have to pay $12.99 or buy them a la carte.
So I just decided to go over to the W Network. It won't let me sign in. That button is grayed out. Why can't I sign in? What's going on?
Is there a space?
No. This happened to me. Refresh.
That's not how this is supposed to work, dude.
Okay, yep.
When I did it, it was originally typing my character's over email address.
Wow.
There it is.
Yeah,
Why?
that happened to me when I first launched it.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay,
so look, this is the first update they've done to the platform since they launched it.
Yeah,
so I mean,
and they've waited a long time on this, which means that it should be perfect when it rolls out, right?
Well,
you know what sucks really? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They did it because they're doing the pricing tier system. They're gonna make.
This is what I want to watch: rebuilding Big Show.
Is he face or heel in this?
So the other
more
thing,
than anything, the thing that pissed me off more than anything about this whole experience was the fact that, again, any TVs more than 2 years old are now obsolete as far as WWE is concerned.
That's some fucking bullshit.
now there was reports that there was something that people couldn't watch, correct? That it was still locked. Okay, well, I went to the shows and it kicked me out of the network. This is great.
Yeah, now you're back on the website. So
now I'm back on the website. Why?
You clicked on the website. Go back to the network.
I've never had that issue before where I've clicked on a different part of the fucking thing.
No, it usually opens a separate window.
Yeah, it never kicked me out of the fucking network before. So yeah, so there was something If I remember
I like
correctly,
that NXT has its own tab now, and it's not under just originals or in-ring.
Look, see Troy the Mae Young Classic. You're all set.
Yeah.
Oh, Worlds Collide. We're gonna watch the Zelina Vega Piper.
I'm pretty sure we'll get in trouble for copyright violation if we try watching it on
I'm
YouTube.
not watching anything. I just thought it was funny. Okay. So there we go. So we'll keep track of that on what's going on.
WWE Network watch. Jason, did you have more details about the pricing tier system?
Nope.
The last I heard was that there is, I think in existence currently, is a free tier where you can go and there are certain things you can go and watch, whether you're a member or not, sort of designed to entice people to become a member. Yeah. You have your standard $9.99 tier, which is what, as of now, has always been a regular membership. And rumor has it that they're going to go Netflix style with like a $12.99 tier, which will give you all the pay-per-views, including the Big Five or something along those lines.
Yeah. And right now, like I said, there is some content that is locked. It is specifically an indie promotion that has some videos on there or some events on there that people are not able to access right now, and they say that is most likely because that is locked right now until they have rolled out the new tier pricing, and that's going to be the higher tier because they're going to be offering some of the independent promotions on only
Evolve.
The higher tier. Yeah, Evolve and MLW was it or no? It was another one.
I think it's the companies out of the UK. They were going to talk. They were talking.
Oh, Progress.
Yes.
Yeah, Progress, and there was another one too out of the UK that I think that
Rev Pro.
Right now. I don't
Rev Pro.
What it was, yeah.
Might have been.
Anyways, yeah. John also was testing some things, and he said he's not having any issues on the PS4 right now. So it seems like at least that is working, which, I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, maybe.
Wait, let's be clear though. Jason had to go through 3 different platforms to finally get one to work.
Well, see,
I don't own any of those platforms, by the way.
So, like I said, I have a Roku, but I haven't tried it yet on that. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go once I try it on the Roku. But yeah, so we'll see.
Looks like I'm watching SummerSlam on my phone.
Well, just do Smart View on your phone.
Sal, you've been in the bathroom for 45 minutes watching SummerSlam on your phone.
It's the women's match. Shut up.
I like the echo.
All right, so
Ginger was right. He said they were going to scissor. That's what they're doing. Leave me alone.
I mean, it's pretty close with the figure 8, right?
Well, I was going to say.
Anyways, so let's get to our main event, which is we are now a couple months removed from the final match and the death of Dean Ambrose and the rebirth as Jon Moxley. Has your opinion changed of Jon Moxley, and why hasn't it? Because I know mine has not. But
after that deathmatch bullshit.
It's still such a small sample size, though. And until I start seeing him on AEW TV, that's when I think I'm going to be able to make my decision on this Jon Moxley. But go ahead, Jason. You win.
So here's why I'm going to shock everybody and say my opinion on him is starting to change.
Knew it.
That's why he
and it has nothing really to do with AEW.
Nope.
And way more to do with what he's doing right now in the G1 Climax tournament over in Japan. He, up until today, was undefeated and having fantastic matches all the way through. His match with Naito was fantastic. Definitely one I would advise going back and checking out if you're a fan of wrestling at all. But he also did a tag match the other day with Toriano, who, for those unfamiliar, is sort of like the Japanese equivalent of Santino. He's very much a comedy wrestler. And they worked a comedy spot in there, and it was funnier than any comedy spot he did in WWE. His selling, the way he did it, I actually found myself being entertained. And his in-ring has definitely been better. And New Japan lends itself to the style he wants to do, the very physical, very strong style, where he can hurt people a little bit, and they'll hurt him a little bit, and that's sort of what he's into. He's a former deathmatch guy. I'm not all the way there, but I'm starting to believe some of the notion that Vince left a lot on the table with this guy. And I didn't necessarily think that a few months ago.
Wow.
And I'm perfectly happy to admit when I'm wrong.
Well, that's it, folks. Bring it home.
So, in a shocking turn of events, much to what Jason said, I'm more impressed with his New Japan work than anything. Full disclosure, I didn't watch the Bloodfest with Janela. I just never got around to it. I was on vacation that week. So I don't know how fucking awful or good that match was.
Don't bother.
That's what a lot of people are telling me, so I never did. I basically just saw highlights from Fyter Fest, including Cody getting half his head taken off. But his work in New Japan, the first thing I saw was him and Juice Robinson, and I was really impressed. And this is a fucking Juice Robinson match.
And his new finisher, the Death Rider, is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's like
that
dirty
whole
deeds, like an execution style dirty deeds. I really like it.
Right. That whole Death Rider gimmick to me, I'm loving that. That whole thing with the knife and the symbol, it works for me.
Yep.
He's gonna have, by his own admission on Road to All Out, a very tough test against Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, highly regarded as the best wrestler in the world, and if Dean Ambrose can't go out there and have if Jon Moxley can't go out there and have a match that everybody's talking about after All Out, there's something wrong.
Yep. This is sort of the real measuring stick match for him. I'm on the fence. I'm willing to admit that there may have been more there than I thought. But I need to see his match with Omega and really get a feel. If he ends up winning his block in the G1 and he ends up facing in the finals Okada, I'm fucking very curious to see how that goes. But, the potential for him to prove Vince and myself, because I was an incredibly vocal critic of the guy.
You have a mute button.
He's proving us all wrong. So hopefully it continues. I'd love to be wrong about him. I'd love to just get more great action. And if anything, it serves a message to somebody up in Stanford that, hey, maybe we are missing the boat on some things. That's a good thing for the business, too.
To me, I watched his promo stuff as Moxley originally, so the promos were never in question to me. I always knew he was going to be better at promos once he was done with WWE, because it was just handcuffing that he was. It's always been the in-ring thing to me. Now, in all honesty, I have not watched any of his work over in New Japan yet, so that's why I can't form 100% of opinion on it, on whether if I feel he's better in ring than he has been. Now, what I have seen so far has been the death match, and that is what it is. But like I said, I want to see more of him. I'm still on the fence on him. I'm not 100% like I'm fucking done with.
Go check out his match with Naito. Yeah. It's available. Where. Mm-hmm. Go find it. Take a look at it. I'd be curious to know what you think.
Yeah, I definitely will. I just have not had time. I know that the guy, I think we talked about it even when he was at WWE. We know he could do better. And that was what frustrated us a lot more than just the fact that he wasn't that good, was the fact that we were like, well, we know he can do better. Like, we've seen him be able to do better, and it just felt a lot really lazy. So,
yeah.
But like I said, my opinion will change from once we start seeing, at least in my opinion, once we start seeing how he's utilized on the weekly program and what he does on the weekly program. And then I think I'll finally be able to say one way or the other if I'm willing to embrace Jon Moxley, or if I'm just like, yeah, there probably was reason. I'm still not 100% sold on Sean Spears. I know people love the guy.
Oh, after this week's episode of Road to All Out, I think I am.
Okay. But he was one of those guys where I've long thought, like, yeah, it made sense that he got released, Whereas
I've always been a booster. I've always been a supporter of him back to NXT. So,
yeah. But whereas a guy like Cody, I knew I was like, that's a mistake to get rid of him. Even when he was doing the Stardust thing, I thought that is a fucking mistake that you can't figure out something else to do with him. I always thought that was such a fucking mistake because he was such a talented dude.
As it turned out, it was probably the biggest mistake because I don't think AEW exists if Cody doesn't get released.
No, because the Bucks were on the Indies for years, but they would never.
Yeah, I think Cody was the guy that pushed them to.
Yeah, never had the connections to get what Cody got. I mean, let's be honest here.
And we had heard that that the Khan family wanted CM Punk in that Cody role. And then once Cody became available and they realized that CM Punk's kind of a cunt, that was when AEW came into fruition. But yeah, I think if they did where it was Kenny Omega as a big thing, I don't see this being as like jizz-worthy as everyone is making it out to be. But it's the fact that Cody is in the forefront of it that I think that's a big thing, and obviously Brandy Rhodes as well, with her sex appeal and her business acumen too. But yeah, like I said, I mean, without them releasing Cody Rhodes because they just hated Dusty Rhodes that much, then I don't think that we see it. And you can't talk me out of that fact that they punished Cody because of Dusty Rhodes for no fucking reason, just because it's Vince. Because we saw it numerous times with Cody that every time he got hot, they just fucking kicked his legs out of his legs, and it's like, it's like, what are you fucking doing with this guy? And then we talked about it too when Stardust debuted. We're just like, look at how this guy is going all fucking balls in with this character.
Well, I was gonna say I was a fan of Stardust, which is weird because you wouldn't think anybody should be, but like, I thought he committed and he was great in that role.
But then they had an opportunity once they did the whole storyline where it was the Dustbusters together to turn him back into Cody Rhodes, and they're like, no, we're just gonna double down, and they're both in fucking suits now. And then we got cheated out of the fucking match that they were supposed to have at Mania 2. And that was the beginning of the end, where it's just like they clearly just don't fucking care. So yeah, so I'm 100% with that as well. So anyone else have anything to say in regards to Mr. Moxley? Ginger.
So again, as well as Troy, I have not watched his G1 stuff yet. I probably won't, just because of my fucking time. But I'm, I can't fully judge him off of that deathmatch thing that he had with Janela. I thought it was fucking stupid, pointless, no build up, no nothing. It was just a fucking, I don't know if it was just for him to just get it out of his system and be done with it, or what it was, but it was fucking pointless. But I can't go off of that, but I probably won't watch him until him and Omega's match.
Yeah.
So I can't make a call on it, but from what everybody on the internets are saying, apparently he's the greatest he's a god that walks on water. And it's true. Like, if you go on these fucking feeds, and me and Jason have gone at people on pages that we are on, just on stupid shit, but
I figured when I gave you that invite, your head would explode on some of that shit.
Oh my god, the fucking morons. But anyways, I can't judge, but if he blows it with Omega, it's gonna be a fucking bad time for him in that company. But
it's gonna be see. Everybody's gonna start to not care about who was,
It's gonna go back to the WWE where nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I don't think it'll happen. By the way, people are talking, but I can't really. I need my own opinion off of it.
Didn't Kenny actually wrestle a broom once? Like, he legit wrestled a broom.
Kenny wrestled a broom. He wrestled a blow-up doll. He wrestled a 11-year girl. He's wrestled everything.
That's what I'm saying. How are you gonna have a fucking bad match with Kenny Omega? Like,
it's possible.
I mean, Jericho's match at Double or Nothing wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I don't think. It was okay. Jericho's just fat now, but
God, he's huge.
Yeah.
Well, let's not fat shame that guy.
No.
Well, I'm fat. I can say it. But
full disclosure, I'm watching WrestleMania 29, and he's fighting Fandango on that show, and he's like 50 pounds lighter than where he is right now.
I don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to fat shame. I fat shame myself.
Man, what do you fucking want?
Yeah,
it was 6 years ago.
Yeah, but a lot can happen in fucking 6 years. The dude's getting old, and he took time off to go run around fucking touring and stuff like that, and that's hard. It's hard to do both. I mean, it's hard to do wrestling, and because both of the times you're on the road, you're not getting the fucking nutrition that you need and stuff like that, and you're
eating fucking burgers and tacos all the time.
Yeah. So the guy put on a little bit of weight, but you know what? Like, he's still a name, man.
Hey, if he can still go, all the fucking power to him.
He's the next fucking AEW World Champion.
So let's take a look at what's going on around the independent circuit. Test of Strength presents House Rules. August 3rd at Tazrax in Naugatuck, Connecticut. Tickets are $50 online, $20 at the door. I figured out the best way to do this is to go through their Facebook page to get their tickets, because you do have a link right on there for the Venmo. Because otherwise it's like venmo.com/slick-wagner-brown. So just go to their fucking page. Doors open at 5 p.m. Start time is 6 p.m. The matches are as follow. The Tag Team Championship is on the line as the Kowalski guys, Jay Freddy and SWB, take on former WWE and ECW star Nunzio and Ray Jazz. Dan DeMann, the Test of Strength champion, takes on Toto Loco. We'll have a number one contender match for something as Jiggy Sosa, Alex Price with Howardson Davis, Ty Shine, Marcus with Abe, Killian McMurphy, and a mystery opponent all take each other on for the number one contendership for, I assume, the Test of Strength Championship. We will see a mixed tag match between The Firm, which is Sammy Diaz, Elijah Six, Richard E. Stone, Esquire, and Jay Bricks, taking on Dickie Moon, J.C. Rodriguez, Rosalie, and a mystery partner. Tag team match between Marcel Williams and Hamlet with Jimmy Means, take on Bobby Ocean and El Jabroni. And Ryan Frost with Aubrey takes on Bull Dread in a no disqualification match. We'll also see an elimination tag match as TJ Howell III, Drake Evans, Greg Jones take on M. DeMorist with Caddy. Greg Jones and M. DeMorist with Caddy take on Matt Makowski, Devantis Tunku Amir, and Daje Simone with Nathaniel Carr. Please, for the love of God, fire whoever puts this on your Facebook page, because they do not know how to use commas or how to use proper editing. There will also be a performance by Lorenzo Nil, whoever the fuck that is. It is a 21 and older show, so make sure that you go ahead and get your tickets, because there's limited seats available. Right now it looks like only standing room only after that. So yeah.
And the next day, you can come experience live professional wrestling at Fenway Park as the Belltime Club invades the El Mundo Boston Latin Family Festival on Sunday, August 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is an all-day festival. Wrestling is a part of the event, a big part of the event. It is at Fenway Park. Tickets are available at the door, or go to redsox.com and look under special events. What you will see is the El Mundo Heavyweight Championship on the line as the masshole Mike McCarthy defends against Toto Loco, who could leave this weekend with a lot of fucking gold, apparently. Demon Ortiz will be in the house taking on Ring of Honor superstar Brawler Malonis in a match I can't wait to see. The Belltime Club Women's Championship will be decided as the Widow Belmont takes on the Makeup Queen Rosalie, the Suplex Sweetheart Isana, and Angel Sinclair, who is still running in our contest, so good on her. Christian Casanova takes on Channing Thomas in a battle of some of the best young talent in New England. Davian takes on Luscious Latasha. There will be an El Mundo Boston Battle Royal. We'll have Skylar Marie taking on the returning Helen Vale. The Middlesex Express takes on the Little Giants. Antonio Tanasio takes on El Jabroni, and much, much more. That is this Sunday at Fenway Park. If you're in the Boston area and you're a wrestling fan, there's nowhere else you should be.
So I just want to say, the Widow Belmont, looking exceptionally beautiful lately. The only reason she is not in this tournament is because Jason is a co-host. And I did not want to put him in a position where he had to say anything about somebody he actively works with numerous
Like Angel Sinclair?
I mean, Angel Sinclair is a little bit different, if you catch my drift. I feel like Angel Sinclair much more willing to hear your thoughts on her body than the Widow Belmont would be. Just saying. That was my thinking behind it. No other reason than that. Because I did have her in originally, then I was just like, ooh, Jason's going to talk about her numerous times. So maybe we'll just leave her out. New England Championship Wrestling returns to live action on Saturday night, August 10th with... What? Unstamania?
Who the fuck put this on here?
I don't know, but it's on here.
Not me.
Unstamania at the Randolph International Community Center in Randolph, Mass.
Is Adam working for NECW now?
For Unstamania? This is a community event with proceeds to benefit the Andrew Leppo Memorial Scholarship Fund at the West End House Camp. Proceeds will go towards sending underprivileged kids to summer camp, which is really cool. Announced matches include Caitlin Diamond versus Casey Carlisle, third generation star Nick Curry taking on Maze, the Suplex Sweetheart Isana versus Diana, whatever, I don't fucking care. And Total Loco defends his NECW Heavyweight Championship against Vern Vicalo, plus special appearances from WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas and Pat the Bear Piper. Doors open at 6 p.m. for a meet and greet. Bell time is 7 p.m. In addition to all this, there will be a big sports memorabilia auction and a 50-50 raffle. Make plans to join us for a night to remember. Tickets go on sale, or are on sale now at necw.tv or by calling 800-838-3006. Watch our pages for more details in the weeks to come.
It's got to be Adam, because that's a straight cut and paste job.
Yeah. Call your local cable provider now.
Make sure to
900, 909, 9900.
Make sure to use 10-10-321 to get some free long distance calling when you call in for your tickets. And when you call in, Tony Schiavone will tell you who's going to win the main event. Sal, tell us what's going on right now in Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
Atlantic Pro Wrestling presents Super Summer Smash, Saturday, August 17th, from the Newbury Elks Lodge, 25 Low Street, Newbury, Massachusetts. Doors open at 5:45 p.m. Bell time is at 6:30. Get your tickets now as the VIP packages are selling fast. VIP packages get you into a special meet and greet with Simon Grimm, Brian Malonis, and all three Future of Honor stars. Reserve front row is $20. Reserve second row is $15. Advanced general admission is $12, $15 at the door. Individual ticket purchases do not grant entrance to the meet and greet. You must purchase a VIP package. In our main event...
Before you made the main event, Sal, just an announcement for anybody who is planning on going to the show. As of yesterday, the APW Heavyweight Champion, Danny Miles, due to injury, has been removed from the card. Originally scheduled to defend the title against Brawler Malonis. That match will no longer be taking place, and I guess APW management will be addressing the status of the Heavyweight Championship shortly.
Thank you, Jason, for that update. In our main event, we will have Brian Malonis versus Simon Grimm. APW New England Championship, Vern Vicalo versus Demon Ortiz. APW Women's Championship, Angel St. Clair takes on Vanity Vixen. Retrosexual Anthony Green will take on the masshole Mike McCarthy. In a rematch, Club Cam versus Robo the Punjabi Lion. Also appearing will be former NXT and WWE person Simon Grimm. Yeah. Also, Brawler Malonis will be bringing Future of Honor stars to APW with the debuts of Brian Johnson, Rayo, and Dante Caballero. For more information, go to facebook.com/Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
The company that known piece of shit Todd Sopel called the best company in a 40-mile radius. Peabody's top independent wrestling company, The Proving Ground, returns to the Peabody Knights of Columbus on Saturday, August 31st for Level 5. There have been multiple levels, by the way, Troy.
Oh, good to hear.
Every event is a different level.
Okay, so this is their fifth event?
Their first major event, like their WrestleMania kind of deal.
Fair enough, go ahead.
I hate that expression on indies, their WrestleMania, but that's the best way to describe it. Their biggest event. Ring
of Honor superstar brawler Brian Malonis faces off against the so-called king of monsters, Kevin Giles. The Proving Ground Championship will be on the line when current champion, the Ace, Mike Montero, steps into the ring with longtime rival, the PG OG, Derek Conway. Watch our former host, Adam, live if you must. I say this every week, guys. Get your fucking pizza at this time. King Leon VI and Corinne Mink will get married live in the ring. Doubt it. All that and much more, except known piece of shit Todd Sopel. He ain't booked Terry on August 31st.
All right.
True.
You know who is booked, I believe, is the Widow Belmont. I think they added her this week.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
But
if only Adam would have updated that.
Did we bring up what
I was
happened
about to.
today? Okay.
So before we run down, or we close down the show, we do want to give our condolences, as we did find out that Harley Race passed away after a long battle with numerous different health issues. Obviously, Harley was a true legend in the business, Hall of Famer in WWE as well as many other promotions around the world there. So, sad to hear about the loss of Harley Race. And that does it for the rundown for this Thursday, August 1st, 2019. Please rate us 5 stars and review, and we will read the reviews on air. You can follow us on Twitter at Rundown Network. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling. Email to show your dick pics via rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Go to instagram.com/rundownwrestling. Our Instagram manager, Jeff, has yet to post anything. Go to youtube.com/rundownwrestling. You can watch us live every Thursday. Make sure to subscribe to us so that you can get those notifications as soon as we go live.
At least Reddit isn't the only place he's not posting stuff.
That's true. Don't worry, I already took care of the Reddit post tonight. Leave us a voicemail at 617-863-6967. That's 61-rundown-7. We are on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/rundownwrestling to become a patron. All patrons receive early access to shows on the Rundown feed as well as some swag and original content. So right now, you could be listening to the second episode of TakeOver Salvation, where Sal proceeds to go through every single TakeOver event that has ever occurred, and this time, he has a special guest for this one, and it is Jason.
That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, so you could be listening to that right now, or, of course, if you decided to want to wait a week and be a bitch and not pay us, you could do that as well, because it's coming up on the feed next week. Check out our website, rundownwrestling.com, for information on all of our great shows, such as the Nitromania podcast, Hurry Up and Cruiserweight, Making the Grade, NXT Revisited, Twat Magic, and WrestleMania Salvation. You can also go there right now, vote on our hottest independent female talent tournament, as well as catch the 2 most recent mistakes that me and Sal made. Sal lost a bet, and me doing Wrestling with Dicks, having to go through China is Queen of the Ring. You can listen to our friends Brawler, Bryan, Malonis, and Mike Record of the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing, with new podcasts every Monday. Big shout out to our friend Oni Lorcan for putting over Bryan on Twitter right now and getting his name out to some people who might not have ever heard of Bryan Malonis, because Lorcan told a story about his first year in wrestling where Malonis beat the fuck out of him and he had to go home and pretend that he wasn't a wrestler to his mom. Go to facebook.com/thewpn or thewpn.com. You can check out our friend Justin Michaels on his show Yesel & Waltz. Go to yeselandwaltz.com or watch it on your Roku through the RNTV app or the 24/7 Retro app. You can follow our host on Twitter at JStewart0920, at RockstarTroy, at Ginger19876, at WrestleMania Sal, at Hurry Up Cruiser, at X Nicole Aniston X, and at Rich Eller Jan.
Rochelle Ryan.
Whatever. I read it as it was.
Booty.
Thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks to Jason for joining me.
Thank you, Troy.
To Sal.
Thank you, Troy.
And to Ginger.
Thanks, guys. This made my week a little bit better.
There we go. So, tomorrow we will have a brand new episode of Twat Magic with me and Lisa. Sal, like I said, we're going to have a new episode of TakeOver Salvation hitting the feed. Yes, you
and
say,
a new episode of WrestleMania Salvation will be dropping this Monday, covering WrestleMania 29.
Awesome. And Ginger, when is the next time that we get another Ginger Snaps episode?
I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm fucking trying. I'm hoping within the next week.
Okay, sounds great. So with all of that, we again thank Jason for his awesome work on the theme song. And fuck Todd Supple. Next week, we continue to pleasure ourselves to pictures of the beautiful women.
Oh.
So I guess that means we will see you next Thursday.
We will see yo ass next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Jason, just let me know that your recording is good, so I don't have to send you mine, but I do have mine in case you need it. And to our friends over on YouTube, thanks again for watching us, for taking the time out of your day. Thanks to Mike, John, and Matt for all posting on the side there. And Kay Napier, sorry we did not actually mention your comment. It kind of got lost in there. But thank every one of you guys for posting over there and for keeping the conversation going. We will be back next week for you. And have a good night. There we go.